that. All right, we are live. Welcome to episode 155 of the RGT podcast. How you guys doing? Today's guest, me and him, we go back. Like, I'm talking back when the PS5 rumors, back when PS5 was quote-unquote 14 T-flops. We go back here on YouTube, really on Twitter. I've exchanged a lot of, messages with him over the years, and I'm very happy to have him on, man. We have the one and only Paul Hunter, man. What's up, Paul? Welcome.
How's it going, guys? Oh, man, I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for having me.
It is good to see you, man. Good to officially talk to you about this, man. We have fun. We definitely have fun about this, man. PS5's out, the whole 9 yards. Let's just say we got a lot to say, man. A lot of stuff. Of course, I got Blaze 4K over here. What's up, brother?
What's up? It's going to be a good one, man.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to be a good one. Man, Paul, man. E3's done. E3's done. Summer Games Fest is done. How you feeling coming out of E3? Seriously, how you feeling? Was it the best E3? Man, was it a good one? Was it a bad one?
Well, as I was telling you, we were talking a little bit earlier. I've been to 10 E3 shows. Like, I've actually physically been down there. I checked out. I went to Actually, I even checked. I've been to every single press conference that E3 has hosted. I managed to get into all of them, amazingly enough. And so I know the experience from being, in the crowd, thousands of other screaming fans, compared to what we saw in the last week. And I mean, honestly, it wasn't that good. But the thing is, I always feel like no matter how bad an E3 is, because there's been other E3s that have been a little bit, on the downside. I always try to find the silver lining, right? Because we had some good games that got announced, right? Elden Ring. I mean, finally we saw a trailer for that after 2 years of being teased.
Definitely one of the biggest highlights for sure of the show. Definitely.
Yeah. So overall, it's. You know what? I actually feel at this point, I'm not even sure what the purpose of E3 is. I don't even think that E3 should exist the way that it is. It needs radical changes. Sony wasn't even there. You can't even have E3 is an industry event. You can't have an industry event without the number one player. And I hate to. I'm not knocking Nintendo. I'm not knocking Xbox.
It is different.
I'm talking legit facts. PlayStation is the number one gaming brand. You can't have a show. I know obviously third parties announce PlayStation games, but then the other thing too is EA didn't show up, and EA is they're in the top 5, I think, top developers by revenue. They're one of the big ones too. I mean, their next event is happening in a few weeks. So yeah, the fact that they're not there, it just
takes the soul out of it, right? It hits different. It really hits different.
This is a guy that's been to 10 E3, so it's not like he's a person that's against E3 and he's just he's been to 10 E3s, bro. So he's not just saying it just to say it, right? He's not just PlayStation. What he's saying is the truth, though. You've seen PlayStation's revenue, 25 million. It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not the same having PlayStation, just that competitive nature. Even if it's not, screw all the fanboy shit, but just that, damn, what did PlayStation show? Oh, and they show. It's just.
Do you think, do you think we've outgrown it, maybe, Blaze? I mean, you brought this up in off air plenty of times, right? They hit different now that we're older. We're not really wowed as much by the aesthetic, you know what I mean? We go back to 2016, we were on our feet. Do you remember that, Hunter, with the orchestra, the first ever orchestra for games? That had us all talking about that for years. There you go, you in the audience. See, you experienced it. You experienced that wild when we heard "boy" for the first time, and everybody just lost their heads.
One of my favorite, actually, this is my favorite. It's not even one of my absolute favorite moment of E3 was the E3 where they announced there was Shenmue. Then they had The Last Guardian, right?
Ooh.
And then they had Final Fantasy VII Remake. They announced all 3 of those games, all within 10, 15 minutes. I don't think this actually came through in the live stream. There were people in the audience that were wailing, crying. Not even half crying. They were screaming and crying. I was looking around I've never seen people this excited before because these are the games that people wanted for years, right? And years. And
The Last Guardian, God, especially. I mean, I that's not my type of game, but I know people were dying for that game. Like literally.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like what was like 10 years in the making, and then Shenmue 3, like that again, that was like 10 years or something. Like these games just took forever. And yeah, and Final Fantasy VII Remake, I mean, like how long have people wanted that game, right? So yeah, just the here's the thing about E3. This is why I don't think E3 needs to exist or exist in the way that it's currently existing. Is that what we need games to be shown when they're ready to be shown. If you look back a few weeks ago, I haven't even compared the metrics now because I just haven't bothered the last couple of days. But if you look at how many people viewed the Horizon state of play versus the press conference at E3, I would be shocked if any of them beat Horizon. Like I'm gonna assume that Horizon is like the number one viewed, right? And the thing is, like, Sony, like this is what Sony's doing. When they first walked away from E3, I was like, what are they doing there? This is nuts. But now I totally agree with it, because they, like, whenever they're ready, man, like let's give Cory Barlog as much time as he needs, and then he can announce, he can show us gameplay, knock us off our feet, like, jaws on the floor with a 15-minute state of play. We don't need to cram this into like a 1-week event in E3, right? Like you saw, what was it?
Outer Worlds 2.
Forget the name. Outer Worlds 2, yeah. Where it's like the entire trailer was like, we don't have anything to announce.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're not we don't know anything about the game. We don't know like what's going on.
This just exists. It exists though.
Yeah, like that's like it was funny, but it doesn't need to exist. I would have rather.
It's a bunch of CGI shit, man. Like it's a bunch of empty like it's just a placeholder, right? You know what I mean? It's a CGI trailer.
That's exactly it. What they need to do, they need to do what Ubisoft did with Mario plus Rabbids, where they show the CGI trailer, right, which is cool. It gets us like all pumped up and excited. Then they show us the gameplay, right? They showed us showed us 2 minutes of the gameplay, right? That like. So I don't get E3. I don't get why it's still around.
I think they need to start showing gameplay. Do you agree with that? Like I like the CGI too, but if they just show CGI and then like if it's not ready to be, if this game is 2-3 years out, what's the point of even throwing up a logo? I mean, for what? Like when they can do it other ways. Like I just want to see gameplay. I think gameplay is the most effective way to do it. You know what I mean? I'm sick of the CGI stuff, man. Like I don't mind it here and there, but.
Yeah, I if I were to like, go back 10 years ago and think about how I felt, I would have been totally fine with CG. But like as I get older and like just like I just care more about
CG hurts a game more so than anything. It really does.
Like think about
these crazy things. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you think about one of the best reveals of all time, for me it would be God of War, right? Like that, like and what happened in that they showed like. This was the first time that we had seen it. I like again, I was in the audience and like people were just going nuts beside me. The orchestra was there, everything was going crazy. And then it's just like
transition into gameplay.
Who's this boy? And then oh my god, it's Kratos. And then exactly what you said, man. Transition like right into gameplay. And we were like
wow, he's old.
We didn't know what to say. We didn't know what to yeah. Blow like man, if that was a CGI trailer, like sure I would have been excited to hear that the game was being announced and being in development, but it wouldn't have had the impact that it had, had they not shown the 5 minutes of gameplay.
State of Decay 3 had this crazy CGI trailer, you know what I mean? And the game is not going to look like that. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just know from 1,000 past experiences that the game is not going to look like that.
I mean, I'm still questioning if it's going to work. That was the biggest, you know what I mean? That was the biggest fear for State of Decay 3. Is it even going to work? Because the last one didn't even perform up to speed. Yeah.
It was a disappointment,
Well, I mean, like, people were asking me what was my favorite show for E3 this year, and I said it was the Nintendo. I said, I thought Xbox actually had a pretty good show overall, but when people said, well, why didn't you pick Xbox? Like, we thought Xbox had the better show. I said, like, I think overall maybe Xbox had shown like cooler games, but the thing is like I don't actually know what they're about. Like I don't I didn't see Starfield in action. I didn't see Redfall in action. I don't know like they look cool, Like, I'm interested, but I don't know
Bunch of question marks.
I don't know what they are. But like, the reason why I like Nintendo is because Nintendo said like all of our games are going to be coming out in the next 6 months. Like, they're all like this year games, aside from Zelda. And like they almost every game was gameplay.
Yeah.
Like every segment was gameplay. So I was like, gameplay. Like, I want to play that. I want to play that. I want to buy that. I'm going to get that. Right. So that, I mean, like, that's why it's better. It's just they showed me the games and they look pretty cool.
Yeah. I agree, man. It's it's really a toss up for a lot of people this year. Like, it just comes down to what exactly appeals to you, I guess you can say, for this particular E3. This E3 though, in general, especially going back to the last two, right? Since Sony said no, I'm not doing it anymore, it doesn't feel complete. You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel complete. It's a different vibe now at these shows, and I don't know, man. I don't know how long E3 is going to go. I remember I pitched this idea before where they was like, oh, E3 needs to change. And I was sitting there going, well, E3 couldn't change. It could still be the thing. But my thing with E3, it needs to move. You know, like WrestleMania moves from different places? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different themes. Why not do that for E3? Make it a spectacle. Like you know what I mean? Super Bowl for gaming. Have more people be able to get into it type of thing. That's how I felt about E3.
It's always in California, right?
Yeah, it's always in California. Why not move it? You know what I mean? Have special themes like, hey,
Boston,
there you go. Yeah, have it everywhere. Have everybody like that way. You can have newer faces to experience it. You know, people who want
Big
to
Cloud,
actually
the thing is, nowadays, like, it's effective. You can just put out a fucking, Sony's State of Play, right? They pre-record it. They have all the gameplay. It's the same. It's the same thing. The only thing you're losing is going there, meeting other YouTubers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but we could still have that. But that's why Sony doesn't need to go dump boatloads of money for big ass PlayStation signs. And like, Sony can put out a trailer, a 1-minute trailer of Last of Us Remastered, let's just say as an example, and it's gonna perform well, and people are gonna buy it anyway. So they're just realizing that it's just a waste of money.
Yeah, and that kind of makes you wonder. I wonder if we'll ever see PSX return. You know, I remember PSX. I'm wondering if
that was cool.
Bother. Yeah, like PSX was a nice little event they used to do for the fans, and you don't even see that get mentioned in conversation anymore. So it's like,
well, ironically, actually, just before I got on the show, I saw somebody tweeting that Sony had like re-registered PSX.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So there was an article linked to it. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, so I'm not sure what the details are, but they re-registered the event. So it can't be dead.
Yeah, it's not dead, but it makes you question, what their decisions like. Are we going to see one of these per year now once it comes back, or is it like, you know what I mean, like every once in a while type of thing? You never really know, and that's the thing too with them. But yeah, I agree, man. I definitely agree. E3.
So you say Nintendo won? Nintendo won to you?
I would say overall Nintendo won. Yeah,
that's right.
Xbox would have been a close second, but I'm not even sure if any of the other conferences would have even registered. Right? Like,
Ubisoft didn't hit at all. I don't know. Ubisoft's so formulaic. You can tell what Ubisoft's gonna do, so to speak, with theirs.
I like Ubisoft games, man. I do.
I love their games, but their shows are. You just know what you're expecting, right? You know you're gonna get Just Dance. You know you're gonna get something for Assassin's Creed. Lo and behold, 5 minutes in the show, what did you get? Just Dance, and an announcement for DLC for Assassin's Creed. It's like, this is my face the whole time. Like,
I know you're sick of seeing EA put FIFA and Madden, but that's their Just Dance. I'm sure makes some boatloads of money, bro. People buy it. That's why they do it.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, they've actually had some pretty good shows in the past too. I mean, like when they announced Beyond Good and Evil, like that was
a great show.
That was awesome. Like they actually had Shigeru Miyamoto come down for Mario plus Rabbids, right? So that was really good. But yeah, like I mean, for me, I thought the games were pretty good. I can't wait to play Extraction. I think that looks really cool. But I was just thinking, where is where's the the pirates?
Skull, what was it called?
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. Yeah, like whereas like Skull and Bones got announced 2 years ago.
And I feel like longer than that. Right?
It feels like three. It feels like 3.
Like ironically enough, they actually invited me to play the game. So I actually I played like an hour of it.
It's a real thing, right?
Yeah, like what I'm actually so surprised though is that I actually liked it. Like this was maybe 3 years ago when I played it, right? So when they said that it's like, postponed indefinitely and like we don't have a release date, I was like, why? Like it was already in pretty good shape. I played a big battle. It was like I think it was like 8 versus 8, and like we're like all lined up beside each other playing. We had a good time. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Like they have pretty good games. They just didn't show a lot of like the ones I'm looking forward to. Even Prince of Persia. Like I actually love Prince of Persia. I know. Well, I know. I agree with the complaints on the graphics for sure. So I get that. But I mean, like the fact that they didn't have any update whatsoever on that was kind of disappointing.
Surprising, yeah.
Yeah. Even if they gave us even if it was a CG or something, like something that just shows us that they've actually doubled down on making the graphics better. So
I mean, I talked to all my Xbox friends. I can count them on one hand, but yeah, all my Xbox friends. And I'm like, hey, yo, what'd you take from the show? And it's like, oh, and it's just like it cringes me, but I understand. Like when you look at it's like, what'd you take from the show? Oh my God, you should have seen Forza and you should have seen Halo. I was like, well, looks like a Microsoft show to me. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, goddamn, like what? And dude, Halo Infinite looks great and Forza Horizon looks great. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying, like, it's hilarious when I ask them and they still tell me Halo and Forza. Oh.
Yeah,
the meme never stops, man. The meme is constant.
Well, for me, at least for the last year for Xbox, all of their shows have not really been selling the console, but they've been selling Game Pass instead, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's the platform. Yeah.
When they like at the end of that show, they tweeted out something like 27 of those 30 games are going to be day one on Game Pass, and I'm like, we're just trying to like think mentally. I'm like, I think most of them are coming out in the next year or year and a half. Plus, they're going to have like a lot more games for Game Pass. So I mean, like, like to me, it sells Game Pass. Like like for $10 a month, you get 27 games that looked really good. It's just that when it comes to the console, like I mean, I have a Series X and I like my Series X, but I just don't think that they're focused on selling it. Like they don't care. Like you could play on your PC, you could on your Android phone, your iOS phone. They don't care. They don't care. Like
they want to get you in the ecosystem. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't
Doesn't
care how
matter.
you however you get in. That's what they want. They just want to get you in on the whole thing. But it was cool though. I mean, 30 games, 27 of them in there. They missed a golden opportunity, but maybe they're saving that until after the pre-orders are in for Battlefield. Because Battlefield was rumor. Remember that big rumor? Battlefield Game Pass day and date.
You don't think Microsoft wouldn't announce that at E3? Like a little cherry
stealth announcement. You
never definitely would have. Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you're right, but I do think that they would have announced it at E3. Like
maybe they work it out.
That would have been like that would have made ripples through the industry if we're like Battlefield is free. Like holy, okay. That's
they already gave you free to play Halo. Halo's free to play now on multiplayer. It's crazy. Me and Blaze were talking to our friends in the Discord yesterday, and these fools over here running, just custom matches playing. Their anticipation for it. I'm sitting there going, yo, Blaze. So I guess you're gonna be on there. Blaze is like, listen, I'm gonna wait. I'm like, hey, you know me, man. I'm waiting for the.
I'm Halo, man.
I see it.
I'm gonna play. I want the campaign. Like I suck at the multiplayer, so I want to play the co-op campaign. But I understand Halo is very important to the gaming industry. It's important for Xbox. That's why I was always say I hate bringing this shit up because they treating Halo like it's just another game. Like they could. I mean, they got Master Chief on the box. It's like, bro, that's Xbox's Halo. Halo is Xbox. They can't screw it up. That's all I'm saying. Like it's gotta. Like I just want it to be great,
Of course. Yeah.
What's so surprising for me is I cannot believe that Halo was just shoved in the middle of that press conference. Like that was just like
that was crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Like
Halo. With it,
Halo. Don't get me wrong. I like Arcane, right? And Redfall looked pretty cool from the CGI, but Halo was a bigger game than that, man. Like,
I agree.
I have no idea why Redfall was like, the one. We got one more thing to show you.
Yeah, they could have saved that to they could have saved that for first. That could have been the first thing you show. Like, hey, start off with a new IP, then go into your other stuff, and then save the reveal from the multiplayer as your wow moment. Like, yeah, guys, Halo's back. Here it is, where we fixed it. It looks a lot better, but again, it's gonna come down to when we play it. The first impressions, obviously, we can't really judge most of it off of what we seen here. It comes down to that. But I gotta ask, what was your game of show for E3?
oh man, it's like it's super easy. Elden Ring, like
Elden Ring. Okay.
Elden
There
Ring
you
is
go.
like
You
20
had me
leagues
scared.
above
You had me scared. I thought you were
everything
saying
else,
Breath of the Wild too, because everybody's saying Breath of the Wild too. Okay.
You know what? I'm excited for that game too, but I didn't really see much. Like the trailer didn't really it didn't really grab
Looks like
me.
the first one.
Yeah, like it's they said that you're gonna travel above Hyrule, which is okay, cool. But I thought the new Metroid game looked more exciting than that, so I'm more
Yeah.
excited for Metroid Dread than I am.
I like Stalker too. Stalker looked good.
Stalker
Yeah,
2.
yeah. That looked.
Okay.
They showed gameplay for that too.
Yeah.
Like bonus, man.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I think actually like I don't think people really agree with me, but I think one of the bigger announcements at the Xbox show was Back for Blood
Yeah.
coming to Game Pass. Like I
I've been
think a
talking
lot
about
of
that game for a
people
while. Yeah.
were thinking of buying that game, right? Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
get it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get it, and I think a lot of people are gonna be paying full price for that. But getting that for free, right? Like it's a nice little bonus. It's a huge perk for anyone that has.
And we
Game Pass.
keep saying free because, like, dude, every time I sign up for Game Pass, I'm like, sign up for Game Pass Ultimate for 3 months for $1. It's like, okay, thanks. Like, that's why I don't understand how they're making money. Like, if that was any other company, bro, they would have backed. Like, they cannot be making that much like, I'm sure they're making revenue, but they got to be losing boatloads. But eventually, it'll pay off. You know.
What I'm actually surprised about is they didn't announce another Game Pass number, right? Like they usually every like 3-4 months they're like, we what is the last one at 18 something like that
18, 23 or something like that.
20. Yeah, there was like I think there was rumors of 23.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to wait to the 25
confirmed.
or something like that to announce it. Maybe like 25.
Maybe after Halo. Yeah.
They're treating Game Pass numbers like console sales. Like, guys, we sold 25 million. You know what I mean? That's Game Pass is their baby, man.
I don't know, man. Like I really do think that Game Pass does offer good value. Like I'm not gonna knock it. I think it offers good value, but I am like super concerned. I think that's probably just like the minority of people that are on Twitter that just sort of like have loud voices. But I'm concerned about people that are like, man, like $60. People were complaining about Metroid Dread. They're like, I'm not going to pay $60 for that, and I'm not going to pay $70 for Ratchet and Clank. Like, I'm gonna wait for this kind of stuff to hit Game Pass, right? Right. That's what people are saying, right? And I'm just like, we like the industry just can't live off of that one model. It's going to kill developers. It's going to kill publishers. They need these day one sales. Like, there's a reason why a lot of the big games don't hit Game Pass on day one.
Yeah.
Right. Because they need those day one sales.
Return on investment. Yeah.
Like,
unless Microsoft is compensating the other half of it, like, hey, we'll give you that what you think you would have made, or
like the estimated.
It's basically just like to sum it up, it's just devaluing gaming, right? Like there's people that are just saying games are not worth $60 anymore. They're not worth $70. Like, give me them for $20, right? Just like, are you kidding me?
$60 for Metroid. But here's the kicker, because I was talking to Blaze about this on Solidcast. Obviously, Switch Pro, right? Missed the opportunity to show the Switch Pro. Do you think the Switch Pro is that's their entry to $70 price tag for games? You think so? Like for Nintendo?
I'm still even wondering if this thing even exists. I think
yes,
because Bloomberg keeps on like every 3 months they have a new report saying talking about production. I'm like, as far as I've read, they said that production is ramping up this year and it's supposed to be launching this holiday. So I don't understand. I can't see Nintendo like stealth dropping a new console in like August. It just seems so weird to me.
But that's Nintendo. They are weird, man. They do weird shit like that, Sometimes it's like
you know what? I think that Nintendo's just going to keep their games at the same price. I think so.
And people are going to buy them
because they don't need to raise the price because people buy them years and years out. Like if you look at the top 10 games, you'll still see like Breath of the Wild and like Mario Kart coming back in it, right? It's like GTA, like it just never dies, right?
Yep.
So
and we're getting ready to go through another gen of that because they've repackaged it for PS5 and Series X, which is ridiculous.
Because this is the thing too. Like every time I try to compare the sales from Nintendo to other companies, I always got to factor in, like, for example, like, I'm not, of course I love Sony, I'm not going to knock them, but I mean, like, I think some of their games have been selling like, 10 million, or like God of War was over 10 million,
Right.
Horizon's over 10 million. But I mean, like, we have to expect that probably like the first 6 million or thereabouts might have been at full price, but the last 4 million would have been like, deeply discounted, versus Nintendo, which I just don't get why
They
people
never discount.
yeah, they never, like, it's when they say that we've sold 30 million Mario Kart, they've sold 30 million Mario Karts at $60 a pop,
yeah.
and
Fucking
everybody's
crazy.
paying full price and nobody's getting discounts, right? So it's, yeah, like, Nintendo is in such a good spot. Like, I can't even imagine having a fan base that rabid, that devoted, that just pays full price and
Nothing complain.
never complains.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, any other game, any other publisher, if I'm like on the fence with their game, I'll just like you wait 3 months and then it's $20 off or $25 off. You wait 6 months, it's over half price. Like, it's Nintendo fans are like, I mean, I have
Special
Nintendo,
kind
I'm a
of breed.
Nintendo fan, but I mean, like, I don't, I definitely wish that their games would go on sale.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that, man. I agree.
The
Okay.
PlayStation. Sorry, Big Clem, but
Not even-
PlayStation's fan base. If you look at the PS3 PlayStation and you look at the PS4 it's two different PlayStations. Like, I feel like there's so many more PlayStation fans nowadays, like PS4 era. I'm not even talking about PS5, but compared to the PS3, like, I feel like there's a lot more loyalists, a lot more, people out there voicing their opinion on how much they love PlayStation. I just feel like PlayStation's in the PS4 generation solidified them. They're like in a great spot that I don't think there's a lot of people that'll never walk away from PlayStation. And,
Yeah.
and if you look at the Xbox situation, how people left because of, if you don't want to buy a console, go play in a submarine, shit like that, whatever, that whole debacle. But I just don't see people walking away from PlayStation because the games are they're quality. Like, they're always quality,
Quality
Well,
always spoke for itself.
yeah, like, I mean, I own PSX. It was called PSX when I bought it, the first PlayStation 1 back in 1995. I think I don't know, got renamed to PS1 like a couple years after it got released. But I remember like Sony has always released good games, right? Ever since day one. Like Wipeout was one of my favorites, and
awesome.
yeah, like they just like Jumping Flash, like all of the classic games were all good. But the thing is, in my opinion, is that like the Sony games back then were, I would say, like about just as good as the competitors out there, sometimes a little bit better, but they didn't stand out as much as they do today, right? Like it was basically like 360 started getting red hot. Sony was like, okay, we got to counteract this. What are we going to do? Let's make quality like the absolute, what their games were already high quality, but let's make quality like 10 times higher, right? And we will not sacrifice a single penny like, we will make these the best looking things that you have ever played. And that happened with, like, by the tail end of the PS3,
Uncharted and
Uncharted, Infamous, we had
Metal
Little
Gear
Big
Solid
Planet,
4 still
Metal
looks
Gear Solid
incredible.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Killzone 2 and 3 and Last of Us at the end.
that's why, like, I was telling you guys, like, even a few years ago, I was talking about all platforms like pretty much equally on social with my friends, but I talk about PlayStation way more, and it's exactly for this reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look at Horizon, like nothing. Maybe Elden Ring,
Right.
it looks comparably, like quality wise, but like literally nothing at the show looked even remotely like that game. Like, it just looks so good.
Right. It's like,
right?
it's like, this is their show. Here's the next level of it, type of thing, like pushing it forward. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's so weird too, and like when people, I'm sure you guys get this too, but I mean, people call me like, pony and like fanboy all the time, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh sure, like you can call me that if you want, but the reason why I'm a Sony fan is because they're just so damn good, and it's not, you can't even like argue against them not being that damn good. They win awards like every freaking time. Like, The Last of Us 2 is the most awarded game in the history of video games.
Yeah.
Right.
The number one, like, and like, God of War, like every single year at Jeff Keighley's a big show, it's always like PlayStation versus somebody else, right? Usually PlayStation versus Nintendo versus like somebody else, right?
From software, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, versus From Software, right? It's not just me saying that PlayStation is the best. It's the industry says that they're the best. They always win the awards, and fans always say they're the best.
Yeah.
So I'm not knocking the other platforms. They all have good games. It's just like nothing really compares to stuff like God of War. It's just on such a different level, mechanically, cinematically, everything.
You know, we all lost our minds when we first saw, obviously the PS4 version. Just imagine the PS5 version after seeing Horizon. Just imagine what they're going to do with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a mic drop moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Blaze, you already know that's a mic drop moment. It's like, it's only a matter of when type of thing, and that's the beauty that Sony has with them right now. It's like that, just that anticipation type of thing. And I don't know, man. It's hard for them to be matched in those type of categories.
It's a cross-gen games too, bro.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. Horizon looks 5 times better than anything I've seen in a long time. It just looks so great. The sound was amazing, right? All that stuff. It's cross-gen. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Sony confirmed Demon Souls going to PS4 or something like that, right? Wasn't that going around, Demon Souls?
I don't think it's been confirmed, but
yeah,
it's definitely,
I heard something
it's definitely going around. Yeah. That would, man, I would not play that game on PS4.
Yeah,
it looks so good on PS5.
I've been spoiled by PS5. No,
like it looks.
I thought
so
God
good.
of War wasn't God of War confirmed to be.
Yeah, that was confirmed for PS4. Yeah, that's.
People were worried about that, but
I was.
You know what? I'm like I would prefer, obviously, if it was just PlayStation 5. I have a PS5. I don't want it to be held back by the last gen consoles. But I actually thought about it for a while, and I'm like, you know what? The games on PS4, a lot of them look better than the games, not the Sony games, but the other publishers out there. The Sony games on PS4 look better, right? Yeah. Play better than a lot of the games that I'm playing on my next gen console. And I'm like, you know what? Like I'm not worried about Horizon Forbidden West. I think it's going to look like it did look amazing. I don't think that the console, like the PS4, is going to hold it back all that much. And again, I'm not even worried because they're making games that already could be on the next gen, right? They look like they could have been on a PS5.
Look at Miles Morales, bro. Miles Morales on PS4 Pro looks good, bro. It does. It looks good. You know what I mean? So that should
different.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, they hit different on PS5. Like, that's just the wow part about it, though. But yeah, they're giving you. I was saying, Blaze, you're getting quality on both sides.
But I was telling BitCloud, like, as a PlayStation, like, I was talking to my friend. He's like, "Oh man, wow, Far Cry gameplay wise, and when you're running around, it looks great. But when you look at the facial animations, they look like shit." And it's like, they like kind of clash. I said, that's because we're spoiled as PlayStation fans. We got Naughty Dog with Uncharted 4 with still some of the best facial animations. Like, we're so spoiled by that, the quality, like the attention to detail that we got on PS4. Like, so when we see a PS5 game, Far Cry 6, and it kind of looks not up to par from Uncharted, that it's 2014 we're talking. It's like, wow, we're just spoiled. That's it.
Yeah, I was telling you that yesterday, Ben, right? Where we were talking about, like, I played The Last of Us Part 2. I thought, like, obviously I thought it was amazing, one of the best games I've ever played. And then I was playing other games that summer, and I'm just like, they're not hitting as well. Like, I can tell it, even I hate to knock this game too, but even I was comparing it to Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah,
amazing game, like
incredible
totally awesome game.
Yeah.
Hey, but if you actually look at the facial animations for that when you're speaking to like NPCs and stuff like that, it's not on the same level as Naughty Dog.
There's levels,
right?
There's levels.
It's they're just like Naughty Dog is just like
wizards.
They're just top of their craft, right? Their craft is just unheard of right now, like in terms of the details. Like, if you go to Last of Us 2 and you see the explosions, throw like a grenade at somebody and it blows up, you can see, you know what I mean? Like, the damage, like, it's crazy. Like, awesome.
It's like Rockstar and Naughty Dog. Like, I always like say, like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just.
And Rockstar
totally
be putting
agree. 5
times more the budget into their games to compete. You know what I mean? To compete with Naughty Dog. And it shows. It definitely shows. Like, a lot of people look at Red Dead 2 kind of weird because of the length, but Red Dead 2 was arguably quality compared to what you're getting in most games. You know what I mean? You're getting
Yeah.
a ridiculously long story. Then they tacked on the multiplayer. You know what I mean? But
Bro,
you got
beautiful
so much
open
stuff.
world, bro.
Yeah,
Beautiful,
so much.
Beautiful.
They even had this crazy mechanic where, like, if you kill an animal and you, like, skin it, it rots. Remember that, Bliss? Like, it rots and then you come back and then it's like bones or it's like flies around. It's like, dude, like, not many developers are putting that type of level of detail into their games, and that really shows. It's like, I need more of that.
I love that shit, man.
Yeah.
You know,
I want more of that.
Dude, I'm the guy that stares at rocks. Like, dude, look at these textures. Like, that's me. Like, I'm that guy. Like, I had CD Projekt Red up there too, and I liked Cyberpunk. I know people hate it or they love it, but I thought it was good. I think it was a lot of false promises, but Witcher 3 for me is still up there. Like, for the budget they had and the time, it still holds up. And so there's a lot of great developers out there. You can tell when they love their game, they love their craft. You can just tell, man. You just see it. It just it pays off, So
yeah,
I
agree.
I mean, Insomniac's like that too. Jeez,
dude, bro, they've like. Do you see how many games they've released?
3 games
like
in 3 years.
Yeah, Spider-Man remastered.
PS4 ports. No, you can't choose between what do you call it, ray tracing or 30 FPS.
Yeah.
We'll give you both.
Ray tracing, yeah.
I still can't believe that they bought them for it was $229 million. That is that is like the best purchase,
discount deal of all time. But it's like, who could you see them with? You know what I mean? Like, that's just a match made in heaven. They just know, each other. And we talked about this before. Remember the Ratchet thing? They got the original director for not Ratchet, but Resistance thing. The original director is back home. You know what I mean? He's been quiet, but he's been so happy, like, talking about old projects. So it's like,
Sunset Overdrive too.
Sunset Overdrive and Ratchet Ratchet. Have you seen the Easter egg?
Back for that,
They pretty much told you, guys, Sunset Overdrive 2 is happening. Here's the soda in the game. It's happening.
That was, I gotta tell you, man, that was so hard for me because I'm sure you've seen it on my Twitter, but I was lucky enough to get a review copy for that game. Sony's the best because they send out review copies like 2 or 3 weeks before games come out. Every other publisher is like the day before.
Right.
they're like, hey, like, play this 30-hour game in 24 hours. Go ahead. But yeah, so I actually got all the gold bolts in Ratchet & Clank, and then I saw that you can actually unlock the soda, right? The soda can for like the overcharge for Sunset Overdrive, and I was like freaking out, and I couldn't tell anyone because I was under embargo. So I was like, damn, like. Because here, what was so exciting for me is that we know obviously that Sony had filed the trademark for Sunset Overdrive. That was public knowledge, like back in I think February. But the fact that the overcharged drink is in the game means that they like everything's done. They now have the license. Like Sunset Overdrive has actually appeared in a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's a
Hellblade moment, man. Like, we lost Hellblade. That was a timed exclusive for PlayStation, and we lost it, and it's kind of all full circle. That's cool, bro. I like when developers do shit like that, bro. I love Easter eggs like that.
Yeah.
The
other thing too,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, there's like I don't know if you guys have got all of the, I'm trying to think of what they're called. The there's like little like audio logs that you can get in Ratchet & Clank, and they actually tease like a whole bunch of other games as well, right? So there's I was listening to it, like it's basically like this scientist that talks about how he's traveling to all different worlds,
different
right?
realms, like different dimensions,
realms. Yeah, but he describes the characters, and I'm like, I know that game. I'm like, I want that game to come back. Like, so I don't know if they're teasing something or if it's just
they definitely are.
A
the
nice,
marketing,
like, Easter egg for fans. Yeah. Well, they even showed, because there was the marketing of like Sly Cooper. Like you saw that they did that, like him coming out of the rift.
Going into the rift, all this.
Yeah.
Like, y'all play with my emotions right now. So, you got these rifts opened up. That's so cool.
You better be giving us a new version of Sly Cooper.
Yeah, but I like that though. They're just nodding each other. They could be joining the team as well, like, and being remade.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I didn't know that.
That's been going around.
There's a lot of people that want to see Ape Escape come back. There's like entire fan accounts on Twitter that are like, all they
let's get SOCOM before we get anything else. Let's bring back SOCOM.
SOCOM was tweeted out by Sony. What was it? Paris? Was it
Sony
Paris? Australia. I always get mixed up. Sony Australia tweeted out SOCOM.
Not like, hey guys, do you remember this?
Yep.
Like, oh, come on.
There's rumors of Guerrilla, right? So, like, Guerrilla Games.
Yeah, but PlayStation never acknowledges SOCOM. Like me and like 30, I think it was like 30. It was like almost 10,000 people, right? We all got into the SOCOM forum, and we like you tweet, "Hey Yoshida, please bring back SOCOM," and it's a program that sends out a tweet simultaneously, like everybody. You just do it at 9 o'clock to whoever you want. We did it to Yoshida. This was like 4 years ago. And Yoshida, even on E3, goes over it. Like, guys, I wish I could talk more about it, but I can't. Anyway, we tweeted. He got like 10,000 tweets at once about SOCOM. And it's still, he acknowledged it, but he had to brush it off. I'm like, come on. And then I see Crash Bandicoot. I'm like, yes. And it's like coming to Nintendo Switch and Xbox. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yo, that was, I want to bring that up too, because that was a big deal. They announced Deviation Games. Remember that, Hunter? Deviation Games?
Of course, yeah.
The guys behind Call of Duty, 2 synonymous devs with Call of Duty, are working on I'm guessing it's a first-person shooter, right? For Sony, it's got to be a first-person shooter. This might be I saw in the Blaze about this. Blaze was like, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, man. If they just make this game, let's say like Call of Duty, but you fix the fundamentals that Call of Duty never fixes, you got a seller. It could do well. Yeah. Really, really well. What you think? What's your thoughts on thoughts on Deviation Games? How you feel about them?
I'm so excited. I think it's like they stole the show. Like this was before we saw Elden Ring at Summer Game Fest. So that was the highlight for me. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, because they did the Call of Duty Zombies, right? Like I think it's the 2 guys that have been behind that sub mode or whatever of Call of Duty from inception. So and the thing is too is like they also have the Firewalk Studio partnership, which is the Destiny people, right? So I was like, I tweeted this out a couple weeks ago, like after the Firewalk, and I did it again like after the Deviation Games. But like it seems super clear to me that Sony was looking at their portfolio of games, and they're like, we completely dominate the first person, or sorry, one player like narrative genre. Like that's just us. We have a lot of multiplayer games. Like the thing is, like, if you look at say like Fortnite, I think it was like during the Apple lawsuit, it came out that something like 66% of players were on PlayStation, right? Like it was like 2/3.
Yeah.
Like the majority of people play their multiplayer games on PlayStation, right? But they don't play Sony multiplayer games, right? So they like that's what they're doing.
They're trying to get into that really, really bad. That's why, again, Blaze was saying SOCOM's coming back. Absolutely. You need multiplayer shooters. You need that option in PlayStation. They're missing that. They're like the only ones out here that don't have like a dedicated, you know what I mean? Like first person shooter. Like
Uncharted multiplayer is cool, bro, but can we get
but it's third person, you know what I mean? It's more it's different.
No, I like third person. Listen, no, but SOCOM is a third person game. But it's not it's not a multiplayer like Uncharted. Like I know people like if you guys like Uncharted multiplayer, sorry. I do too, but it's not my go-to multi. Like, can we get a staple in the ground? Like, hey, this is like SOCOM was that game.
Yeah.
That's what they're missing.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the powers that kind of ruined it for a lot of people with Uncharted 4. You know what I'm talking about? Like the little kill streaks you guys get in that game, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't like the mythical streak.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that. I thought it was okay, but, it is weird going back to it. Because, if you go back to Uncharted 2's multiplayer, remember back when it was a demo?
That was good.
That was great. Like, it had just perfect flow. Maps are creative, very team-oriented. They didn't go back to that, though. They went a different route this time around.
What Souls games have you played? Because you keep bringing up Elden Ring. You're starting to really get on my good side.
What Soul games have I
played? Yeah, like you love all the Souls games?
You played all?
Yeah, I played them all. Demon Souls I played on PS3, and I just beat it again. I got the platinum. I feel so proud.
Yeah, me too. It's a tough platinum.
We got it too.
Yo, that platinum is a fucking pain in the ass, bro. God,
there was 2 at the end that just took me forever. There was one where I had to I had to like kill those skeleton guys. Like I had to kill like 200 of them so that they dropped one of those rare gems that I could trade in. That was one of the trophies. And then I'm trying to think of what the other one was.
Was it the ring?
It was the ring, yeah.
I was about to say, that's the one that Blaze nearly pulled his hair out of his beard for. I was like,
it glitched for me, man.
It glitched for him, and then he had to do it again. We had to play it.
I had to beat the game 5 times, essentially 6.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because I saved my game before a certain boss, so I could get that soul and use it for a different spell, so it initiate the trophy, and it never did. So I had to So I'm playing it like 5.5 times. Big Cloud is right behind me like 3-4 times, bro. We were just so. I'm like, dude, I don't want to see anything souls for a long time, and then. But that game is incredible, man.
Trophy popped. I was like, yes, it's there in the swamp. Last one. Let's go. Finish. But
yeah.
What a great game, man.
It's so like I feel like that one's like so underrated too because
I hate the whole it's a remake. Shut up.
Yeah, like when people that bugs me when people are like, oh, it's just a PS3 game. I'm like, no, it's not, man.
It's
like
so much more.
Sure, like mechanically they took, like the same like frames or
level design, whatever, right?
Yeah, level design is the same, but it's like it's so different, man. Like visually, like
everything, dude.
All the bosses are fantastic. The soundtrack is beautiful. It's so
like
good.
They added the stab back. Like there was no stat like a certain animation where you just backstab the guy in Demon Souls and that was it. Now they had like brutal hits and shit. They added all that in. You throw a firebomb down a dark alley, you see that individual light.
Yeah, going through the fire. Yeah.
Plus the loading times for that game.
Man.
Like that is like when you go through like one of those portals and you go into the new world and it's like 2 seconds and
so
you're there.
Synonymous.
1 second.
Yeah, like Bloodborne had like that little delay, when he does his arm through the smoke and then like you have to wait for it to render it. You have to for that one on PS4.
Yeah.
This was just like you just go through the smoke. There's your enemy, the Penetrator. The Penetrator was probably one of the coolest looking bosses in Demon Souls.
There was no loading. I don't think there was loading. They
were all so good. Flame Lurker looked just like so
awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
HDR, let's go.
Beautiful soundtrack. It's like, dude.
Oh yeah. I ended up playing that game 3.5 times through.
Yeah, it's a tough platinum.
It was definitely like well over 100 hours in that game.
Now, question: did you platinum the Neo series?
I platinum the first one, but not the second.
Not the second.
No, that's
okay. I did.
So
don't worry about the bootleg Souls. Don't worry about that.
What about Sekiro? You play Sekiro?
I did actually. So Sekiro is kind of my shameful admission because I played it halfway through that game and I loved it. Yeah. And I'm trying to even remember why I didn't finish the game, but I think it was just like other games came up. Like I just moved on to another game and never came back to it. So like it's on my bucket list. I've got to beat the game.
Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, Bloodborne, Demon Souls. That's all that matters.
Bloodborne I beat. Dark Souls 1 and 2 I beat. Dark Souls 3 I've started it and I'm like partway through that one too. So yeah, I got a few more to still complete, but most of them I've completed so far. So
we got to get him through Dark Souls 3. So maybe if you're there, just hop in the world. We'll get it through.
Sure, yeah. Actually, yeah. Well, I don't know if I can though, actually, because that one I actually got I got a code for it, but it was on Xbox, so I don't know. Like, I don't know if that game has crossed.
Oh, the PlayStation version's 1080-60. That's what's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a boost. They had a boost mode or something.
Yeah.
Oh man, Paul, I gotta ask you, man. I gotta ask, because since the whole 14T flops, the crazy rumors back on the PS5, legit was like that V-shaped box. That box. Now that the PS5's out, you got it in your hands. I mean, what's your thoughts on the whole thing? I mean, me and Blaze, we're hit and miss with a lot of things with PS5. Like, for example, the menu. Menu looks amazing, right? 4K, but it's missing a lot of key things that made PS4 so good, like themes.
Yeah.
The quick menu, they turn the system off and all that stuff.
The folders.
Yeah,
folders. I think actually the worst thing for me, I'm kind of over it now, but it's like, but you actually, like, to turn off the PlayStation 5, you got to press the button, not hold it.
Yo, it's too confusing. Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of confusion.
I had like muscle memory for like 7 years of holding the button down to turn it off. And so, yeah, like now I finally got it, but I was like, why would they do that? It's just so annoying.
Right.
They need themes. I want my goddamn themes as a pre-order incentive. Man.
Yeah.
Give me.
It's kind of weird too, because like we had themes on PS4, and sometimes you get them for pre-order, sometimes you buy the themes.
Bro, they were beautiful.
Yeah,
they were like 4K,
HDR,
all that, bro. They were beautiful.
It feels like such a waste to not have that on PS5.
Wasted money.
So I think there's definitely things that irked me about the user interface. I think overall it's like it's cleaner, it's nicer, but it's just missing features.
Right.
So
Very
that was
flashy.
the main thing.
They went for
Discord.
style over substance, you know? That's what it kind of feels like for that one this time around.
Once we get Discord, we'll be straight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting announcement, you know, partnering up with them, and looks like they're investing in Discord too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because all the rumors were Xbox is buying Discord. I'm like, God, everything dies when they buy. Like when Microsoft buys Skype, dead. Like it's like they end up killing everything off.
Yeah, I used to use Skype, but I haven't used Skype.
I know. Who does?
I don't even know. 6 years, 7 years. Oh man.
Crazy Mick is not around anymore.
I'm really interested to find out. Yeah, because Microsoft was supposed to buy them, so I don't know. I mean, it seemed like that obviously fell through, and they would. They preferred the deal that Sony gave them.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing Plus is going to play a factor in this.
Them.
You think maybe like Plus might play a factor with Discord, where the whole Nitro system. Now you can upgrade the servers and all that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they have like some deal going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, and this is why they got rid of communities on PS4,
which I don't understand.
Right? Well, because they're going to switch over to Discord, I guess. That's my assumption.
Well, yeah, true. That's true.
So, I don't know if that was their plan, but it worked out.
Yeah, but I don't like the weird thing is that I don't know why they wouldn't time them closer together, right? Like why? Like as far as I know, they're already shut down.
Like separate voice channels for said community. Yeah.
Like just keep communities open for the next 8 months while this integration's happening, and then that way people aren't going to get mad, right? Yeah, like people aren't going to get mad. Speaking of that too, like I just have to say too that I am like I still can't believe that Sony agreed to keep the old stores open, like the Vita store and PS3 store.
Enough noise. There's enough noise.
I totally get it because people were mad, but like how many of these people that were mad actually still use those stores regularly? Like I
don't think none of us did, but the point was. And a lot of people complain they didn't even own PS3s or Vita. It's like, bro, where's your PS3? Like, mine's right here plugged in. Like, I use my PS3. It's like
an emotional thing, right? Like, that's all. Isn't it just like an emotional thing where you're like, you don't want you don't want your games to like disappear? Or
but Paul, is it costing them that much money to keep the store? Like, you know what Sony did though? They must have made a shit ton of money because not just me, like a shit ton of people I talked to, like, dude, I went and bought every Ratchet and Clank game. I went and bought all those. Every exclusive that you can't get, they bought. So a lot of people did that. So they must have made some revenue. That store is so old and I don't know how I used to use the PS3 every day, but I don't know how I did. That thing is so wow.
It's like 30 minutes to boot up, another 30 to browse. Jesus, it's so bad.
It was a media beast though, dude. Like I'm downloading custom themes on that PS3. Like that thing, I used to download illegal movies and shit, man.
That's what I use mine for. Mine is like a little entertainment device. That's all it is. I play movies or whatever on it.
I'm definitely glad that they kept them open because that's what people were asking for. But it's just, I wish I knew the numbers behind it, right? Like I want to know how many people are actually using this store.
Isn't that interesting, right?
Yeah. Like, is it like hundreds or thousands? I don't know. Like they just announced too, like it was Grand Theft Auto servers are going to be going offline for PS3 and Xbox 360. They just announced that like a couple days ago. It just always blows my mind. I'm just like, what? Like who's
those
playing
servers are still up? What?
Who's playing Grand Theft Auto?
GTA 4. I'm like,
on
bro.
their PS3. Like, I don't know, man. But
believe it or not,
there has to be.
Like, SOCOM, all the SOCOM servers, Zipper Interactive got shut down. But SOCOM 2 servers and 3 and all them, like they got shut down in 2013, dude. Like the PS4 was out and those PS2 servers still on. Like it's weird, man. It's
weird. It just always like blows my mind because I wouldn't even have guessed the servers were even up for the 360 and the PS3 versions, right? So that kind of reminded me. I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Like it was such an afterthought. I was like, wow.
People are still using those consoles, I guess.
Man,
bro, you know how long GTA 5 took to load in, like online? Like I remember, like oh my god.
So you talking about loading in online? What about just the straight boot up, especially GTA 4? Remember that? That long.
Yeah, you see the.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
You
try
were-
to
you were
add
asking-
a style to it with the pictures and the song, but it's like, nah, it's too long.
Like you were asking me just a few minutes ago about my thoughts on PS5 and like what you just talked about. That is the reason to get the PS5 in my opinion. I like the games load so fast, right?
Yeah.
Like Ratchet and Clank is just insane how fast everything loads, and it's like I still play some PS4 games on my PS5, and they are a little bit faster when you put them onto the SSD, but they're still not like as optimized or as fast as a PS5 game. And I'm just done with loading screens. Like I hate to it's weird because I always had patience before in past gens, but like I'm so spoiled with PS5 and
You
I
don't ever go
hate
back.
loading screens. Yeah. I'm yeah.
Speaking of that, do you think it's
boxing up the
weird,
PS
Paul? Do you think it's weird that they haven't said, "Hey, all right, like, bro, go buy this NVMe and stick it in your." Like, I got a 2 terabyte SSD just to put all my PS4 games and shit like that. But you don't think it's weird that they still haven't let us buy? Like, can we get some storage here? Like, I would buy it. Like, just tell me. You know,
Yeah.
you don't think
Yeah.
that's weird?
I was actually like I was happy at the announcement. I think this was like 2 months ago or thereabouts, where they actually allowed you to put PS4 games on external drives, right?
Right.
You could just, like
Yeah.
trade the. So that like to me that was good because my SSD was like half full of PS4 games, and so
Me
that
too.
you removed all that space. But like in the time since, my my PlayStation SSD is just filling up fast, right? So yeah, it's so weird. I feel like on the hardware and the interface side, I don't think Sony was 100% ready for this gen, but on the software side, they were like beyond ready, right? Like if you look at if like I've seen like people were tweeting comparisons of the games that Sony released in the first 6 months for the PS4 versus the first 6 months of the PS5. It's crazy how many games Sony got out this gen, right? Like last gen, it was like what Knack, Killzone, Resogun,
Gun, yeah.
and I think Infamous. I think that was it.
Yeah.
Drive
like-
Club came. Yeah, Drive Club
Drive
got
Club
delayed
came
that
later
shit.
because it got delayed
Yeah.
by a year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like in the first 6 months, it was like 4 games, maybe maybe I'm missing one, maybe 5. But anyways, like Sony's like already like way blown past that. I think they even like almost matched that during launch, right? Because we had like
Yeah.
what Sackboy, Miles Morales, Astro, Demon Souls, right?
Yeah.
Right? At least 4. The Destruction All Stars came, Returnal, Ratchet, like yeah. So the like on the software side, but yeah, hardware, it's so weird. Like I just
Feels
like I
like
cannot
ancient tech
believe.
going back, you know?
Yeah. They, as far as I remember, Sony said that they were going to have an update on the SSD this summer, right? That's what
Yeah.
I remember them saying this summer. Well, like it's summer. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
That's what
yeah,
it is.
so I don't know. Hopefully soon.
All these new SSDs too, like these newer ones got like heatsink stuff on it. So it's like they have to test those. It's like, oh boy.
The funny thing is though about the Xbox guys, like, oh, you guys only have one real exclusive. You know, everything else is cross-gen. You can play. It's like, bro, okay, there's one more than 0. Cool, thanks. You know what I mean?
The thing is too, like people are always tweeting me about how it's like a lot of these PlayStation 5 games are on PS4, right? And just like, like they're not real PS5 games or whatever. But the thing is, like, if you actually look, because I know like every week, at least for like the UK sales when they come out, right? They always like announce like the top 10 or whatever, and then the NPD also talks about it as well. Whenever you see like the split between how many people are buying these games on the PS5 versus the PS4, it's like way skewed for PS5, right? Like
Right.
Morales is like 80% or whatever bought on PS5, 20% thereabouts like bought on PS4. So it's like, yeah, they're out for PS4 for these people that don't want to upgrade or haven't upgraded yet. But we're all buying it on the PS5, right? Like these games are optimized for PS5. So I don't know. It's just like it's such a weird argument to me.
It is.
Yeah.
To me, they're just like I don't view Miles Morales as being a lesser game because it's on PS4. What like just the opposite. It's like one of the best games, right? Like it's must play, right? So yeah, people have the weirdest arguments on Twitter. It's just I've just had to like learn to just kind of like filter things out and just like you know, I see the same comments over and over again and just be like, okay, like I'm not replying to these people. It's not worth my time.
When did it change for you, bro? Like, you know, you said you were at like you a regular Twitter user, 6, well, even 8,000 is a lot, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let's not act, you know, for us, for me, and Big Cloud, right? But when did it change? Like, when did you start to say, like, okay, like, wow, like, holy shit, I got 10,000, I got 15, like, whoa.
So it I know exactly when it changed because I like you can actually check your analytics on Twitter, right? You can only check on the desktop version, but you can see how many like impressions you're getting, how many followers you're getting, like you can see all that data. So like I've always like just out of curiosity, I would just check it out once a month and just see what I'm doing, and things like changed significantly for me in December of 2019. It was like a year and a half ago. Like it was what happened. I'm not sure exactly like how this happened, but like Twitter rolled out maybe about 2 years ago, like trending topics for like it's kind of like before they had like a trending section, but now they have like subsections, right? So you can like subscribe to like, you know, the PlayStation trending tab or the Xbox or Nintendo or whatever, right? And so I noticed like in 2019 December, my traffic, like my monthly traffic to my tweets like jumped up tenfold, right? And I was like, what's going on? Like it's so weird. Why would I have like X amount of impressions last month, which is the same I've had for like the last 5 years, and then suddenly it just like spikes and goes to the moon. But then I started having friends that were tweeting me, and they're like, "Dude, like I saw you in the trending tab on Twitter. Like I subscribed to PS5 and PS4 and sorry, not that it was like a year ago, but PS4 and PS3, and like I saw your tweets in there, and I was like, really, like that, like, and then I started to notice that yeah, like they're actually getting in there. So like what I think is like once you reach like a certain level on Twitter, because I think before then I was at like around like 7,000-8,000 and getting like pretty decent impressions and all that. But I think at some point Twitter just like they're like, okay, we're gonna take these guys' tweets and we're gonna throw like, you know, half of them into this trending section. And that was insane because I went from about like 7,000 followers then to getting about at least like 1,000 a month. Some months I'd get 2,000.
Yeah, I do remember
And
that,
so yeah, so now I'm just like zoning in on 30K, right? I'm at 28 and change and getting like 30 to 50 a day.
Imagine
Really,
it all started with PS5 with us talking about the 14, all that stuff, all the patents. It was crazy.
but the one like but what I actually noticed too, and this is I think actually how I ended up getting into the trending tab, is that what I actually before that December, like the last like or the 6 months or something before that, I actually made a conscious effort on Twitter where I was like, I used to be the gaming editor for Best Buy, and so like we covered all consoles. I reviewed like all games all across all consoles. So I was like I was very like neutral about everything, and I just like I didn't say like I like this console more than this console. I'd say obviously give my opinions on games themselves, but not really like have strong opinions on the consoles. And then I just thought, I was like, you know what? I just love PlayStation so much, and I'm always playing on PlayStation, and it's just so many good games.
Right.
Let's just double down. Let's just like I'll still talk about the other consoles. Yeah, like I actually like I totally recommend everyone to like, you know, like if you want to grow your Twitter, right? Just pick your audience, pick your niche, right?
Yeah.
If you don't care about how many followers you get or how much people are commenting, then like, you know, who
just
gives
throw
a
whatever
crap,
out
right?
there.
Just do whatever. But if you legit care about making it like huge on Twitter, because if you look at like pretty much all the big gaming personalities on Twitter, they all seem to like specialize in one platform, right?
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. Whenever I do my Sony skits, whenever I act crazy with do the Sony shit, like, you know, it trends to me.
Like PO, like you know, PO on Twitter, he always talks about PlayStation. His tweets like go to the moon, and Porter Rock is always PlayStation. You've got Colt Eastwood, which is always talking about Xbox.
Xbox.
His account's growing. You got like Tim Dog, just basically anyone who just doubles down on one platform, and that's like the bulk of their content. I think really like the only big names on Twitter that I would say that cover everything would be people like Shinobi and maybe like Nibble and Zuge, but not that many. Like there's a
Yeah, the
handful
few and far between. You can count
that
them all on
cover
one hand.
everything.
Yeah.
Not too many neutrals, you mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because that's actually the funny thing is that like I I have so many conversations on Twitter because people just don't believe me. I actually seriously do consider myself more of a neutral. Like I definitely lean towards PlayStation, right? But if the definition of neutral is somebody that just has all consoles and enjoys all consoles, then I'm like, the textbook definition of a neutral, because that's
right.
what I do. That's what I do. Every week I'll play on all three of my consoles, but I might play like 80% of that time on PlayStation, right? So it's just kind of like that's what I did, and I even noticed too, like, because this is the thing I started, like, once my tweets started getting in the trending section, I actually did a couple of tests. Like I would tweet out something about Xbox, and I would notice I'd get like minimal interactions, and I'd tweet something about Nintendo, get like, okay, but like minimal, and then I tweet something PlayStation, and like bam, 1,000 people liked it, right? I was like, I think now I've grown my audience large enough that when I start tweeting about Xbox or Nintendo, like I get pretty decent engagement. But
Right.
like a year ago, like it was just
I got
like,
an idea. You made everything you just said so simple. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you my email and password, and you're just gonna change your name to Next Gen Gamer, and I'll just put Blaze4K under yours, and that's it. And I mean,
Oh,
you
there
made
you
it.
go, man.
And he made it seem
Easy.
so. But he's right though. If you go hard for one, they eat it up, man. They do. They eat it up.
That's
They
true.
they eat it up. And I just like I've actually done a lot of experimenting because I'm so curious about Twitter algorithm and like how things get on trending and stuff. And it's just like I just noticed too that just like the simplest stuff trends, right? So it's kind of like, I'll throw out a question. Like I'll just like do this all the time on my Twitter now. I'm just like, hey, like how many people have a PS5? Right? You got a PS5? Yes or no? That's my whole tweet. You got a PS5? Yes or no?
Wow.
And then like I'll get like 500 people, right? And I noticed that, like, if I try to like, throw out more complex tweets that like get into like the nitty gritty of something, they
Yeah.
just don't tend to perform as well, right?
That's
It's just
true. Yeah.
simple questions. Like Jeff Keighley, you see, he like after every press conference, he does polls, right? He'll be like, "What do you think of Square Enix? A, B, C, or D?" Right? Like that kind of simple stuff. People on Twitter just love that. They just eat that
Whenever
stuff
you
up.
think, whenever you overthink a tweet, like, oh, and you're making, you know what I mean? It's always when you don't expect it. Like you said, it's simplistic, man. It is
Yeah.
so true, bro. With everything on it.
Yeah, and the other thing that I would say too, like how to get tweets to trend is just throw your opinion out there. You know what? And like and I used to throw it out and then care what people said back to me, but you have to throw out your opinion and just not care. Like just mute the thread. Like don't even reply to half the people if you don't want to. But like, yeah, like I would just because like a good example is like I know it's probably sounds controversial, but I love The Last of Us Part 2. I thought it was just like one of the best games ever, right? And it's just like and like, obviously, like, we know that people love trashing that game, and so like every now and again, if something comes up and I just like I think about The Last of Us, or I'm playing it again, or like there's an announcement for it, I'll just tweet again. I'll be like, damn, I love that game. Like The Last of Us 2 was my game of the year last year, right?
Now the
That
question
kind of
is,
stuff.
are you gonna play factions? That's the thing. Are any of us
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
on factions? Like, you on factions day one?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about
Oh.
Last of Us 2.
All right.
I'm that guy that thinks it's a 10 out of 10 in every aspect. Like, I'm not, like, I really am. Like, every 10 out of 10. I just don't, I don't want to sound cliche. I don't like the direction they hurt, bro. I love Joel and I loved Ellie and I love that combination. And I guess boo-hoo, grow up, who cares? You're not in charge of the storyline. But bro, they fucking did my guy Joel so dirty, bro. God.
Yeah.
You said Joel. They did Ellie dirty.
They did Ellie dirty too.
They did the end for me.
You know what? Yeah, I totally agree with you, but this might sound a little strange, but like I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and I'm a huge Game of Thrones fans. Like I watched all of them, right? And I feel like to a certain degree that those shows kind of made me numb to this kind of thing, right? Because I remember when I was watching Game of Thrones and I was like the Red Wedding, right? And you're just like, what the hell?
What
and
the
just
hell's
like,
going on?
yeah, and like all your favorite characters die in The Walking Dead, right? And then
Did they try to build
Yeah.
new ones? It's like, oh no, they hit different new characters with The Walking Dead.
yeah, I sort of like I just like kind of got used to people like falling in love with a character and then just seeing them die in the most brutal fashions by watching those shows. And so yeah, like I don't know, like
I don't know, you can compare Joel's death, I guess, to, you remember Glenn Walking Dead with Negan?
Totally, yeah.
That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, you remember that, Blaze? Remember Glenn's
yeah.
death?
Yeah, the Chinese guy.
Yeah, like that took the win out of that whole season. Nobody wanted to watch the whole season. That
was like one of the most brutal moments I've ever seen in TV. Yeah. Man.
You know what it is though? I guess you're playing as Joel, and you know, like,
yeah.
In terms of watching a movie, you actually are playing out the movie type thing. I don't, you know what it was, Joel? I you know, it's relatable as a parent. You know what I mean? So it's like the whole, I don't know what it was, man. I just really like that. You know, I'm not against new characters, right? The story's got to progress, right? You can't, you know, it's a brutal world, right? So I'm not, look, I will never say the game is trash. Absolutely not. It's like I said, it's a 10 out of 10. I just didn't like, I wasn't a fan of the direction they went. You know, I understand it, I get it, but you know, I still think the game is incredible. Like, dude, the bullet damage, the gunplay, bro, it's top tier shit, dude. Like, I shot somebody, blew off their leg, and then I go shoot them in the head, and it's just like it was just, oh my god, it was just too good.
I'll tell you the one thing that I didn't like about Joel with this is I didn't like the marketing before the game came out.
Right. Misleading.
That like rubbed me the wrong way for sure, because we all thought like, oh, Joel's back and like this is gonna be another Ellie and Joel adventure, and this is great. I can't wait to spend another 25 hours.
Some people thought he was a ghost though. A lot of people were saying, oh, I think he's dead.
Yeah.
You know?
It was that first trailer when she was singing, she was on the guitar singing through the valley. He he doesn't walk through the door, right? Kind of like he phases into the door. If that makes sense. Like he shifts in. It's like that was a weird transition. You see a ghost and he walks through the hallway. He's like, "What you doing, kiddo?" And then it's just Last of Us 2.
I'll tell you one thing though. Like, I definitely was upset the way that he died, and like if I was in control, I might not have done it that way. Who knows? But the one thing that I actually did like in the game, as it relates to Joel, is those flashbacks that they had. Right,
those are awesome.
Best parts.
Those were so good. Like when they were in like the like museum or whatever, and
it's like I want to die.
That whole like the spaceship. Like, oh man, it's just so good, man.
You know, my thing was too, and then they did it with Abby. It's like, oh, and here's a flashback, and like, I don't give a. I was so mad. I was like, I don't care about her. It was almost like it was forced, you know. But the more you play it, you just appreciate. You just gotta appreciate what they did in terms of the game, like. You know, all bullshit aside, like, but you know, it was. And it's like Joel is this, you know, and Joel is this self-reserved guy, like. His brother's over here, like, yeah, we live at 22 Rochester Ave.
We have 22 snipers. We have water.
And
we have electricity.
And then we leave, no, Big Cloud. We leave the key under the mailbox if you want to come on. It's like,
hey, we'll come in. Hey, no, there's no guards here after midnight. Come on through. I'm like, Tommy, you're an idiot. Hey, you're an idiot right now.
That's all. Like, but you know, I loved it, though. I'm not gonna say I didn't.
See, that was one of the reasons why I also thought The Last of Us Part 2 was 10 out of 10, because the thing I like about Sony games, we talked about this with Returnal yesterday as well. Like this, I like
storytelling.
Sony games that sort of take me from one spot and take me to the second spot, and like the way I feel from spot A to spot B is completely different, right? Because like when it came to Abby, the first like few hours when we saw her and found out what she did, like I hated her, right? I thought she was just awful. I thought she was just like badly acted, badly written, badly everything. Because she wasn't actually, not in retrospect, but she actually was badly acted.
Like, that's just how your feelings.
But just like my headspace was, I was so mad. But then when I had a chance to play as her for the last 10 hours or so of the game, I grew to like her as a character, right? I just thought by the end, I understood her motivations. I understood why she did what she did. I thought that she was justified, right? I thought she was legit.
She had the better weapons, for sure.
If I was in
Bro.
her spot,
Talk
like
about
maybe I
bias.
feel the same way, right?
Yo,
And
Paul,
like,
talk about bias though. She had the best loadout in the game, like everything from pipe bombs, guns. I'm like, dude, Ellie gets what again?
Yeah, she had like that military background.
Assault rifle is
and
like, dude, what is going on here, dude? This doesn't make sense, but.
But yeah, we were talking about that with Returnal, like that.
You like Returnal? What would you think of? How'd you feel?
It's my game of the year.
Wow.
I like it better than Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good conversation right here.
I put 100 hours plus into Returnal. I can't stop playing it.
Holy shit!
I'm freaking addicted.
So
it sucks because I have other games to play.
Me and Paul here platinumed it, so you know he got the platinum for it, Blaze. But I was telling him about you, how your game like crashed. What was it, like 7 times?
17
times.
I had. Look, Paul, I had 6 instances where I'm putting it all together. I had 6 instances where I was locked in the room, and people are like, Blaze, idiot, you're wearing the DLC suit. Oh, I'm sorry for spending an extra $10 and getting fucked. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? So I changed it, and then it stopped happening. But I kept crashing, dude. So I started recording everything because, like, people are saying, Blaze, come on. It's like, bro, you think I'm the guy that wants to put bad press on PlayStation? Like, I'm not. I'm just doing this because if I don't, because I was getting so frustrated. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna end up dropping the game. Because every time I'd get to a boss, I would get a perfect run, it would crash, and I was getting so frustrated. I'm like, if I don't record this, nobody's gonna believe me. But I ended up beating it. Like what? I beat it before you, like 3 days before you.
You beat it like 3 or 2 days before me.
I would get sick of the game and I would watch BitCloud or somebody streaming. I'm like, dude, it made me want to play instantly. As soon as watching somebody playing, I'm like, God, I want to go play. The game, it had an addicting, it's like you wanted to keep going. It was weird. It was like Dark Souls-esque, right? You just wanted to keep going until you got it done. Like it was a well done game, you know? It really was. It was different. It was so different from anything I've ever played.
See, and like it. And for me, I had, let's see, like when I was playing the game, when I beat the game, it only crashed on me once. Like I think I beat the game after some like 15 hours. I had 1 crash. I've now like I put over 100. Like I said, I think I've had maybe 3 crashes, but my version's been relatively stable. So I feel bad for you, man. That's like I didn't have the DLC costumes. So that's probably one thing that saved me from like a bunch of headaches. But
my friend Kofi told me he didn't crash a single time. He got like 100+ hours.
Yeah.
When he told me that, I'm like, really? And he's not gonna lie about that for what? Like so
I had more crashes for Ratchet. I don't know like
really?
what you guys have experienced, but like Ratchet crashed me 4 or 5 times.
It crashed me at the beginning of my playthrough, and it corrupted the first save file when we first played it.
Man.
Yeah, but it was like at the beginning. You know, I'm talking about that beginning opening where you see Rivet and she takes the helmet off. It crashed at that. When I switched it to performance ray tracing mode, it crashed. Yeah, and then it said corrupt.
Yeah, I had a lot of technical issues with that game. It's also weird too. Like there was a bunch of times where like an event would trigger, like a platform was supposed to come down and get me, but it never triggered.
It never phased in. Yeah, it didn't phase in. Yeah, that happened a few times.
Yeah, I had to reboot to the last checkpoint. The lucky thing with that game is that the checkpoints are pretty frequent. Like I think I only lost like a minute or 2 of gameplay every time. But Returnal never really had issues with that game, but Ratchet and Clank, lots of technical issues with that. So
lots. See, it's iffy. Like I don't know. It's like it seems like these issues happen when these software updates come out. You know what I'm talking about? Like they throw out the big software update for the games. It's like I don't know. It's like they're opening up doors to these glitches or something. I don't know.
Well, see, that's actually maybe why I didn't experience that, because again, like I'm so lucky. I knock on wood that this happens in the future, but Sony gave me a review copy of that game, and so I played it before the day 1 patches. Like from what I hear, like, you know, a lot of this stuff was happening after. It seems like for whatever reason there was like glitchy stuff in that day 1 patch.
But you beat it before the patch even came out?
I did, yeah. I didn't platinum. I platinumed it just like a couple days ago, but I beat Act 1 and Act 2 before it came out. So yeah, I got lucky. It was actually like, it was weird too, because like when I was playing it in the review period, there were like dead scouts on the ground that you could walk up to, and you could like scan them, and then you could fight bosses and stuff like that. That I think is now back in the game. I saw that like got patched in like a week ago, but that was missing at launch. So it was so weird for me because the game seemed to have, you know, more like be more stable and have more content during the review period than after the day one patch. So yeah, I was I guess I got lucky in that sense, but man, I feel your pain. 17 times.
Yeah,
that's like 16 too much.
He loved the game. It's just, you know what I mean? It's like that takes a toll on you, though. You know what I mean? Like impressions when you play it. That's.
I couldn't put it down though.
Yeah,
that was too deep.
I still can't believe like how many people think that game is super hard. It just blows my mind.
Once I figured out that look, if you just take your time. See, my problem was at first I'm running through and I'm not reading. Like, bro, you got to read and you got to take your time. Go through a level, build up. Once I found out, build up your health. Dude, I had that rock gun and I was just pop shotting guys and they would melt.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, let's go. I didn't die from Act 3 to the end of the game. I beat it in one sitting. My friend's like, hey, you can beat it in a couple days if you continue. I'm like, dude, I'm beating this shit tonight. Like, I haven't crashed. Let's go.
Yeah, you're so right, man. You're so right. It's like, because, like, for example, when I was playing, once I beat Biome 1 and I unlocked Biome 2, I would always play through Biome 1 100%.
Then go to 2, yeah.
To get to like...
No, you have to, though. You have
to. Get as much health as you can, get as many artifacts as you can, get as many items as you can, and then I found, like, you know, once I was on Biome 2 and I already had, like, you know, 150 health and, like, you know,
astronaut
attack upgrades and the astronaut. It just so if you just try to speed run, you're gonna die. But if you take your time and play it and read things carefully, that's the other thing too. Like, you have to, like, some of the artifacts kind of like play off each other too, right? So you have to read like what they do and like really understand what they do to figure out whether or not you want to like pick shit up.
Yeah, so it's the parasite. Yeah,
like the parasites.
Too, right? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The parasites were so important, dude. I used to just like I'd get dropped into a room. It's like, oh, break all these plants and see what you got. And I used to be like, man, I wish it was something else. And then once I realized, dude, all right, let me take a look at these things, right? And I'm like, wow, okay. I had a parasite that the more parasites I had equipped, the more output damage I was doing, bro. It was like, wow.
Yeah, there's that one parasite where if you put it on, basically, it says like your other malfunctions are more severe, but you get more health.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
I always took the risk. Yeah, it was a trophy actually too. You had to do that.
Like 6 or 5 of them on or something like that.
Yeah, and like and why you have to read everything is there's an artifact that you can get where every time you pick up a parasite, it actually increases your max health, right?
Yeah.
So once I picked up that artifact, I'm like, I got to pick up every parasite now because they all gonna increase my health. And then the other thing too is like there's the parasite extractor machine thing, right?
Yep.
That turns your parasites into obolites, right? Get some money. And so like what like I would play, and if I found one of those machines and I knew that there was a parasite that I didn't want, like, you know, 2 screens back, I'd go back, I'd pick it up, right? Pick it up, get that negative thing that you don't want. Then you just remove it 2 seconds later at the machine, right? So yeah, it's just like,
I think as Souls guys, we knew how to backtrack and we were familiar to like backtrack and like, you know what I mean? So
mentally we were prepared because of Souls games. They kick your ass. They're like, hey, you want some more? Then you come back for more type of thing. This game, it not only does that, but it takes everything, it strips you, and you have to go back all the way. But it's like, I got used to it. You know what I mean? Your first playthrough is your hardest. After that, the game is super easy at that point. Like I played through biomes 1, 2, 3 numerous times without dying just to get the platinum, you know, finish all the biomes, get the glyphs and the audio logs. Had to start all over the whole game. I think I told you about that, but I had to start all over just to do the first biome all over again because one area did not spawn, which was the platform that was like across with the audio.
Wait, you take platinum too, Paul? You're a platinum guy?
I got the platinum, but
But do you chase them in general? Like, do you like, oh, I'm gonna play Ratchet? No. Okay. Me neither. Okay.
No, it's funny because
so it resonated with you that much where you wanted to get it. Wow.
It's yeah. People always assume that I'm a trophy hunter. Like on Twitter, people are always like, "How many trophies you got, bro?" And I'm like, "I got a lot of trophies. I don't have a lot of platinums." This is actually the thing. I checked and I'm not embarrassed at all to say this. I've got 19 platinums, right? I've got 19.
Oh, you got more than me. You got more than me, bro.
And I look through those 19 games, and those are like literally the 19 best games that I've played on PlayStation.
There you go.
Like, this is the thing. If you guys see me tweet that I got a platinum, right? You know I love the game. You know it's like I love this game so much, because any other game I would just drop it after I beat it. I wouldn't bother to go back.
I have 140 platinum the entire Assassin's Creed series. A lot of things.
Yeah,
I went through Souls games. So, me, I love Souls games. I love the Soulsborne, games in general. What was it? What's the name? Dark Souls 3. I'm going back to that after, I'm done with Resident Evil Village. But I'm enjoying the hell out of Village. I'm taking my time with Village. That's one of my favorite games that's launched in a long time as well.
That's actually my next one, I think. That's my next one.
Yeah, I'm literally grinding for that one.
I've got two trophies left.
That's a good game.
Yeah, I'm beating that on the last I'm beating it on the hardest difficulty right now. The Madness something Shadow of Madness. That's what it's called. Hey, Blaze, your camera's frozen, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, your camera's frozen. It's like I just know what your face like frozen. What the hell, dude? Look at how serious for. There we go. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's just.
How long has it been frozen? God damn it!
No, it was like 5 seconds.
Yeah, just like
Big Cloud let me sit there all mad.
No, I think I'm sitting there going like, what's...
That Big Cloud would do that.
Yeah. What's up, Reddit?
So I've got the same trophy to get. I've still got the hardest difficulty, and then I'm like halfway through the knife run.
Okay, can't you use unlimited ammo still and get the platinum? I heard.
Yeah,
you can.
Yeah, beat it first, unlock it.
Oh no, sorry, I lied. I have 3 trophies to get. Sorry, the mercenaries one I haven't got yet.
Yeah, I do mercenaries. Got to do the hardest difficulty, the knife.
Yeah.
Got to do the rest of the guns and all that stuff. I'm like, I'm having fun with it though. That's
you'll see me tweet the platinum. I'm not sure when. I don't know if it might be in the next couple of months. We'll see, depending on what's interesting me.
Me and you are very similar when it comes to platinums, dude. Like, I only get platinums that when a game, like if I had a substantial amount of time, let's say, or it really meant a lot to me, like Demon Souls, like God of War, like Ryan, he'll get the platinum for Madden 22. Like, that's just
Ryan. Those things, like, okay, so me, I platinum the games I enjoy a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I'm so into so much stuff. Like, for example, like a lot of people don't even play the UFC games. Yeah, I don't know if you played them, Paul, but I played them back when THQ was at the helm. You know what I mean? I loved them. And when EA came out with the first one, I was like, this is good. Platinum that, right? UFC 2, platinum that. UFC 3. That one took a time, platinumed it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's how it was.
UFC platinum UFC games. What? Come on, Big Cloud.
Hey, I love the game. I love that game. I wanted to show you.
Bro, you got a problem, bro. You have an issue. I
have no problem. I have no problems.
The 2 games right now that I'm trying to get the platinums is RE Village plus Nier. Nier is just like replicants. It's just hitting me in the right way. So I don't know if I'm going to end up getting it because I was reading that there's like some ridiculous trophy about planting flowers, which seems like really, really tedious. Seems like the thing with that trophy is like you have to like plant flowers beside each other and then they become different flowers, like depending on like the arrangement. But the flowers grow in real time. So you actually have to like turn off your console for 24 hours. And then turn it back on, and then your flowers blossomed. Right? I'm like, that just seems so like
all trophies.
Not me.
Trophies are tedious.
True. Ooh, that one just seems a little bit more tedious than most.
Oh man, what he said? He said, I don't think he. I mean, he said, what level is your PSN? Like, what trophy level are you? I guess.
Mine, probably gonna get this wrong, but I'm over 350, 355, I think.
That's good.
Yeah,
you're higher than a lot of dudes who talk about PlayStation.
Some dude It was like I had the stupidest conversation on Twitter with somebody a couple months ago. Like somebody was like, you're not a real PlayStation fan. Like you're like a pony fraud or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then the way that he was gonna justify it, he's like, I bet your PSN level is not over 350. Like if it is, you're a real fan. But if it's not, you're. And I was like, dude, I'm like borderline. I'm 355.
Bro, why does that matter? Why are you judging a person by their imaginary trophy?
You know what it is, bro. It's like it goes back to the whole Xbox Live gamer score. Remember, like they try to throw that in your face, like, "Oh, I have a better gamer score. I better do it." And I'm like, listen, as a YouTuber, you'd be surprised how big my profile is in terms of like games. And dudes always came at me like that. It was all, you're not a PlayStation dude. I guarantee I have more trophies than you. And I'm like, sure about that?
You know this is what I find so funny too. So like I said, I game on all consoles. I've got like my gamer score is like approaching 45,000, which is not huge, but it's not pathetic.
Respectable. It's respectable.
It's respectable. But the funny thing is like ever since I started tweeting a lot about PlayStation, of course I have like angry Xbox fans that tweet at me, and like. Every now and again, I don't actually ask people for their gamer score, so I think that's just like super lame. But sometimes other people do, or like I'll just see tweets of like people be like, oh, that dude's gamer score is like only 30, but the funny thing is that I've noticed that some of the people that come after me about like being a PlayStation fan, they have lower gamer scores, like significantly. Some of them have like 20,000 or 30,000, right? And I'm sitting there like, I'm like, dude, I'm like. I don't like judging people by their gamer score, but like, it obviously seems like to me that I play just as many Xbox games as you have, if not more, right? Probably I played more, right? So you can't be calling me an Xbox hater and a PlayStation pony when I'm sitting here like, I've got more Xbox games and I played more Xbox games than you, right? So it's just so funny to see.
You know what it is? A lot of them are. I gotta realize this, dude. That Twitter is like a lot of the people I end up arguing when I finally look at who I'm arguing. Like if I do take the time to do it, they're young, bro. They're so young, dude. They're like 18. They're in their early 20s or 18, 19. Like, bro, all right, you got it. It's probably true for me too, right? If I can tell that somebody's just a little kid, then I'm just like, okay, like keep done. It, man. You win. Yep.
I got no interest in arguing this. I almost feel like anyone who's like, I don't know, like that aggressive on Twitter, like even if they are a little bit older, they have to be emotionally young because it's just like I don't have the energy for this anymore, man. Like this whole I'll tweet every day how much I love PlayStation and
you always get that one sore person. How dare you? My Xbox is better.
Yeah.
The new thing I see, Paul, is Xbox got 43 studios, PlayStation's got 20. It's like, okay, and if 43 of those studios are putting out mid-tier garbage, what does that matter to me? I'm never gonna play those type of games. Like I argue with these Xbox. A lot of the Xbox dudes I argue, they don't even have Xboxes, bro. They got PCs. Like, dude, I have every Xbox.
It's true.
Like, what are you talking to? Like, you guys, dude, it's weird being a multi-console owner. Like, because the majority of people are not. They're just not. Yeah. I'm telling you, dude.
Totally. And here's the thing too. Like, this is why, like I said earlier, that I feel like I'm a neutral, right? Even though I play more on PlayStation, because the thing is, like, when there's a good game, I will be the first person to go on Twitter and tell my friends and make videos about it. I don't care what console that thing's on. Like, we were just talking about Sunset Overdrive, right? That is an Xbox only game. That game I loved. I thought it was great. It's one of the best Xbox exclusives on Xbox One. It's so good, right? And I will defend that game to the end of time. Like, it's just so good. And it's the same thing for all these other games that are coming out. If Halo Infinite comes out and it is a great game, I will be praising the hell out of it. I don't care if my audience is PlayStation and they like have this thing against Xbox. Dude. I don't care. It's a game.
There you go. That's how it was for
I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer.
E3. Yeah, that's how it was for the Xbox E3. Dude's like, oh, you don't. How dare you? You're an Xbot in disguise. I'm like, Blaze would tell you. He could just he don't even have to say anything. He just look at the camera and give you the dumb look, like, bro, you know that's false.
Yeah. I wonder if your bot, like you know how you said you lean towards Sony. Does that screw with your review copy ish type stuff, or?
No, because usually the publishers will ask you what platform you want, and I just say PlayStation. So sometimes like it's just like, you know, you can't pick and choose, right? Like because other like here's the thing too is like sometimes publishers have deals, like marketing deals, and so like typically
they want you to play it.
They want you to play it on that platform, so like you don't have a choice in that case. But like this is the other thing too. Like I've seen this like time and time again. If you look on Metacritic, and if you look at like pretty much any third party game, you'll see like double the amount of reviews on PlayStation versus Xbox, right? Like it's not just me. It's like the majority of reviewers will play their games on PlayStation, right? It's mainly just like the Xbox centric websites that like only talk about Xbox that review it on Xbox, right? Most people review it on PlayStation.
The lead platform, man. It's a lead platform. That's just how it goes. I remember 360. A lot of games when I would watch the review, you could see the prompts that they were Xbox prompts. Yeah, you know, it was kind of the lead platform for a long time. You know,
but that's why it's so funny. That's why like I wish that people on Twitter and like just people that interact with me on online knew me for longer, because back in that era, like I've been in games media now for 12 years, right? So I've been reviewing games since like the PS3 and Xbox 360 era, and back then when most of the games were, you know, had 360 as their lead platform, I was requesting and I was reviewing most games on 360 because I want to play the like Fallout, right? Fallout, BioShock, right? Like we all remember how bad those games were, like technically on PS3 versus the 360, right? So I'm a huge PlayStation fan, but I go where the games are, right?
Right.
If like I don't think this will ever happen, but if PlayStation suddenly like takes a nosedive downhill and their quality is garbage for like, you know, 5 years in a row, and I just cannot take it anymore, right? I'll happily move to another platform that has the better versions of all these games, right? Like it's just, I don't know, it's the other thing for me too is like the games have to be substantially better on the other platform, because like the way I feel even with like, you know, comparing PS4 Pro and like Xbox One X or whatever, like back in that time, like
very minuscule.
A lot of those games would be like frame rate's better on PlayStation, but graphics, like resolution is better on Xbox. And then I'm just kind of like, I'm like, it's a toss up then. I don't really care, right?
It's
like,
kind of like that right now. It's hit or miss. Sometimes you get like better frame rates on PS5 because the resolution is not as demanding, you know?
Yeah, that's where Sony's doing that performance ray tracing. That's the new thing you're gonna see in first party. I honestly see that third party is taking advantage of that more so down the road. That mode.
Totally. And I quantify better in like a broad sense too, right? So even for me, for example, like the main reason why now I'm requesting all games and buying all my games really on PlayStation is because of the DualSense, right? Like it's I don't care if I get a little bit better resolution on my PC or my Xbox. The DualSense, like when you play Call of Duty, right? Last year's Call of Duty, it's a night and day difference. Like it just it feels like a better game on PlayStation because of the DualSense.
I agree.
Yeah, Returnal, the experience was amplified by DualSense. I mean, Ratchet. Oh my God, Ratchet's a different story.
Ratchet
with DualSense.
Man, yeah, like the Sony first party is like really like
taking advantage of it.
Yeah. They're probably like required to as like to showcase what the PlayStation can do, but man, they're so good. Like,
bro, deviation games, you know, the Schroeders, I already know they're gonna push that in different ways as it is. What's that game called? The Callisto Protocol, that Dead Space successor. Can't wait to see how that's gonna react with this. Man, there's so many good possibilities for the controller and everything. Obviously,
Yeah.
Silent Hill, if we get it. In fact, let me get into that because that's the
Blue
funny thing.
box.
I know we've been so many people ask me about this whole thing, this whole debacle, this conspiracy going around for Silent Hills. I've heard so many things, man. Again, I dropped the video to be fun about it. I was like, listen, Blue Box Game Studios, the Death Stranding trailer. Sam's wearing a blue suit. He jumps in a box. Might have foreshadowed something, you never know. But now everybody's just a detective now. Everybody's breaking this down. Everybody's finding out that the guy who's behind the studio, if you translate his name, it's Hideo. So it's like, I don't know, man. This is a big thing. And then Jeff Keighley said that we're going to see, hopefully, more info on it. Obviously.
Yeah.
More info is probably going to be at his show. That's probably his highlight. Like, yeah, he's going to be here. You're going to see it here. What do you think about the whole thing, Paul? Like, do you think it is? Do you think it's like maybe something different? Maybe it's a successor. Like, we're getting a spiritual successor to Dino Crisis, right? With Extinction.
Yeah.
So maybe, like that. What you think?
So I don't know if it is Silent Hill, right? I think somebody out there is making a Silent Hill game. I'm not sure if it's this or not, right? So I'm just not really sure about that. But the one thing that really is suspicious to me is that, like, first of all, Sony seems to be backing up this game huge, which doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Because it's an unknown company. Like, there's one person that we can find on the internet that's part of this company. Like, they tweeted out, I think yesterday or today, they're like, oh yeah, we got 50 plus people that work like at our studio, right? If you've got 50 plus people that work at your studio, one of those people would be on LinkedIn. Like, somebody would be on LinkedIn, right? Not just like Hassam, whatever his name is, right? Like Hassam is the only one that has an online profile, right? So it's so, and like the thing is, like, they tweeted that they got 50 plus staff and they have 7 outsourcing studios, 7 plus outsourcing studios, right?
Wow.
This to me is a massive budget game, right? And I have no idea how this unknown indie developer would have millions, like tens of millions or whatever it's going to cost to make this game, right? How would they where would they get millions of dollars from? If, like, there's got to be some kind of angel investor, right? Which is probably Sony. Like, it's probably Sony is backing this thing up. But like, it's just so suspicious. Like, it's definitely not some like small little, like, 1 hour indie game. Like, this is going to be a legit game, whatever this game is, right?
Yeah. And then all people Jeff Keighley follows it is like, oh God, Jeff Keighley doesn't even follow anybody. But you mean tell me out of the blue he follows these guys? Come on, man, stop. Like,
yeah. Like I said, I think I mentioned to you earlier. I was like, I checked them out on Instagram, and they had like 300 followers when I checked them out. But one of those 300 was Jeff Keighley, right? I'm like, yeah, okay, Jeff Keighley.
Then you got Kojima dropping that tweet with the forest, the trees, the eerie surrounding, and then I guess he deleted it. I didn't see it no more, so I guess he removed it. But
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you guys, man.
He removed it.
It's like, come on.
I just can't wait. I hope it's Silent Hill.
I do too, yeah. But at the same time, you never know. You never know. It might be a spiritual successor of some sort, or something completely different in many ways, like similar in tone, but a different, IP. You never really know. And that's I guess the beauty behind it, so to speak.
I've been hearing about Silent Hill it's like, at this point, dude, either come out or I've been hearing, like, we've been doing the Silent Hill rumor speculation for so long now. It's like,
about a
year.
What?
PT was so good that people can't shake PT. It was such an impressive demo that it just stuck with everybody, dude. It's just a goddamn shame how it went down.
Oh yeah, PT is like, I downloaded that on my console and then I never deleted it because
Dude.
I was
Bro, there's PS4s
You can
that
sell
go
your
for
PS4 for
$6.
I was too afraid. Yeah, so I don't use the console anymore, obviously. So I boxed it up, and it's like it's now my PT console. That's that's how
Wow.
I think it. That's how I think of it, right? I'm like, hopefully this hard drive never dies, because I never want to lose that game. That game was just that game scared me so bad. I like horror games and I like horror movies. I'm a big horror like fan, but
It was so well done, dude. I can't
PT.
even tell you, bro. So
Yeah.
well done, bro.
Got the
God,
weird
made you
baby in the
think.
sink. Got the the riddle.
The
sounds-
fetus, it just made you think, bro. And you're going through like what is going on, and then at the end, it's like Silent Hill is like, ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I don't know
will
what it
say
is
that
about weird fetuses, but that shit's like it just creeps you out. Like Resident Evil Village. Oh my god, that scene
Yeah.
with the
spoiler
puppet.
alert.
yeah,
Oh,
that
man.
was yeah, that's that scene like freaked me out for sure.
Dude, I was playing that at 3 a.m, and I'm like, all right, like let me just go to bed tonight. Like, let me just not do this tonight. I just was not in the
Yeah.
mood. I'm like, I didn't know you had to hide under the bed either. So I'm like, I'm like, I don't want to deal with this shit right now, bro.
Use your dad. Yeah, he's coming towards you.
Dad.
Fucking
And they
bad.
always like, and I remember too, like when you get into the elevator there, they always like the elevator takes so long
So
to come
long,
down.
yeah.
It's like purposely timed so that like disgusting baby is like right behind you, right? So
Oh man.
it's so weird because it's like that's really the only segment of that game that I find that's really horror, right? The rest
Yeah,
are
the
like,
dollhouse is all right. You know, people say the dollhouse is scary. I didn't think it was.
Yeah,
It
the
was
dollhouse.
cool.
I thought that was the best part about the game, honestly. Even though she was the
Yeah.
creepiest character on the cast. I mean, Lady Dimitrescu. Lady
Yeah.
Dimitrescu was killed. I think she was just killed a little too early. I would expect more time for her.
that was actually one thing that I was thinking about for all the characters, like all the villains, really. Because after I beat the game, I thought, you know what, like, I
You
kind
didn't
of
have
wish
time
that
to really
there's
connect
like a prequel that because I want to see like these characters were actually pretty interesting. The doll, like, I thought the doll was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like when you first get captured. And then she's like clapping her hands and she's like, he's awake, he's awake. Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like I was like, man, so cute. She's a killer doll. So I don't want to be her friend
It's got
really,
like a
but
Chucky vibe, basically.
but yeah, she's a Chucky, but she's a cute little Chucky. So I don't know, yeah. Kind of wish that there was more.
I thought it was very easy too. I didn't like when people ask me, "Oh, you enjoying REA?" I'm like, bro, I'm not enjoying it right now. Like the very beginning, I just felt like it was rinse repeat. Like, oh, here we go, open a window, and then the game just opens up
Yeah.
immensely. Like, dude, it just opened up. I'm like, all right, now this is great. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was about the mansion. I just felt constrained, and I didn't like it. You know, but once you started exploring, oh my god, it was so good. It was like
the
photorealistic.
mansion. The mansion kind of reminds you of the house from 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that open house. But
Yeah,
it also
totally.
has elements of the originals with the puzzles and the house. I thought that was a nice addition. But the only thing I would have to say that was annoying in that game was the werewolves. I'm be honest with you. The werewolves are bullet sponges. Not
Yeah.
really scary. They're just like, these guys are a nuisance. And I think they threw them out there for the sake of throwing them out there because they want a
Totally.
challenge. But I don't know.
Once I beat the game and then you can unlock the unlimited ammo, that made the werewolves a lot more fun.
Yeah, you went to
Because I used to like I got the Magnum, right? I had
The
unlimited
wolf
Magnum.
baiter, yeah.
Just like boom, like
Bro,
one
and they're
shot.
so cheap with that Magnum ammo in the beginning. It's like, God, I don't want to shoot it. I don't want to shoot it. I don't like
Yeah.
fuck it.
You can
Yeah, I
literally
didn't-
dominate the whole game with that one pistol, and there's like if you upgrade all the way, boys, you can after you beat the game, you can use your points to unlock all the unlimited ammo for it. So that's how it works. But yeah, they pretty much expect you to put all your points into a gun, and then when you beat it, you can unlock the infinite ammo for it. It's it's wild.
See, that's the thing too. Like I kind of wish I knew that in my first playthrough because I was wasting all my money on like low grade guns.
Yeah.
Right. So it's so I ended up I maxed out the first pistol and the first shotgun. Right. But what I found so strange about this game is like in past games, if there was like 2 pistols that you would get, the second pistol wouldn't be like definitively better than the first. Like it might have like things that are better about it, but there's also things that are worse about it, right? in RE Village, like each weapon you get is like a real upgrade. Like there's no reason to even hang on to the old gun, right? It's weaker, it's slower, right? So yeah, like I was like upgrading all these like weak ass guns, and then I could like get the unlimited ammo, and I'm like, why? Like
Right.
they're just so weak. I want the Magnum, or I want the most powerful shotgun, right? So
Yeah. It's just it's such a good game. That's what I gotta say. It's such a good game. It's worth every penny for Resident Evil Village. What you guys think?
Have you seen Battlefield? You Battlefield guy or?
I'm I'm definitely excited about the new game. The thing is, like, a lot of these games I'll play and I'll pick up, but they just don't grab me. Like I'm not a guy that's played Battlefield for more than like a couple of months, right?
Okay.
Like so yeah, like I'm definitely excited. It looks awesome. But
What do you feel about when people say the Sony template? Like, it's like, oh, they don't make any first-person shooters. PS3, all they made was first-person shooters. Like for the most part, it
yeah,
was Killzone. Like, so what do you say about? What do you think about this template? Do you think like Sony games are, there's third-person games, first-person games, and top-down games? Like, I mean, pick one. I mean, what do you want them to do?
yeah, I think Sony does have a formula that they know works, right?
Right.
Which
Right.
is like the third person,
Over the
cinematic
shoulder. Yeah.
over the shoulder. I mean, it totally works. But the thing is, like, what Sony does is like some of these other games, they'll make sure that PlayStation is the best platform to play that on, right? So like all last gen, we had DLC coming for Call of Duty before, right? Like it was like I think at first it was like 90 days exclusive on PlayStation. By the end of the gen, it was down to like 30 days or whatever. But and they did that with like Destiny. They're doing
Destiny
it
was
again.
huge, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you know, it would be good if all platform holders had like every genre covered, right? That's like the ideal state. But I mean, like, Sony doesn't really. I don't think they really even need to,
They don't.
Yeah.
because like I just said earlier, like if we look at the player breakdown of Call of Duty, it's on console, it's probably 70% on PlayStation. So they don't like they don't why would they want to make their own that's going to compete with that
Right.
when everybody already plays these games on PlayStation anyways, and buy, like, they spend their money on PlayStation, they buy the DLCs on PlayStation, right? So
Microtransactions, all that.
yeah,
Right. Why would they make something that's going to compete and probably not end up even competing? You know
There
what
you
I
go.
mean? Like what?
yeah. But now, like, but see, that this is why I'm excited about this gen, because like as we talked about earlier with Deviation, right? They're now hiring those people.
Yep.
They're hiring the people that made the best multiplayer games of the last gen, Destiny and Call of Duties,
Yep.
and they're bringing them in house to PlayStation to make these exclusive games, right? So
And they
like,
can be working with Insomniac for the multiplayer aspect for Resistance.
yeah, I think the reason why games like Battlefield hasn't stuck with me long term is that when it comes to multiplayer games, I kind of like the fantasy ones. Like for example, like I played a lot of Resistance multiplayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just I guess I got a thing for like aliens or like not human creatures. But like the multiplayer game that I just cannot stop playing right now is Apex, right?
Oh,
And Apex has like sort of that like fantasy like realm to it, right? Like you've got characters that have like special abilities and like, I don't know, like when I play Call of Duty
Apex is
Online,
so popular right now, dude. Apex is so everybody I know is
yeah,
playing Apex, bro.
it's just so
No
I
Rogue
just
Company? Come on, man. Give some Rogue Company some love.
I play. I'm not knocking that game because that game's actually really fun. I played that, like, let's see, I downloaded it in August of last year.
Yeah.
Played it for like 3 months, and then I was just like, I just like Apex so much that I just went
Yeah,
back to that
yeah.
one.
It's tough.
Um,
You gotta
but
choose
it's
one.
but like if Apex wasn't around, Rogue would be my game.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Wow.
my number one, number two. Yeah.
Surprised they haven't won anything yet for Rogue, like multiplayer or nod or anything. They ain't getting anything for Rogue Company. Like
it'll help once Rogue gets off Epic because it's an Epic PC exclusive. Once it gets onto Steam, it'll. But Rogue is an underrated. You know, High Res makes a lot of popular games out there, like the Paladins and all that. Like it's pretty. But Apex, everybody I know loves Apex, bro. Like I don't know anybody that's played Apex that bro, because it's like Titanfall 2 mechanics. They were so great, but the multiplayer didn't survive because they wanted to drop Titanfall 2 between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty. Like what were they thinking?
Yeah.
You know, so Apex is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just like I think they update that game so frequently. I don't know how they do it. It's just
they support it, yeah.
You know, there's so many different maps. I like that too. Like every time I play, there's like I think there's like 2 or 3 maps that are in rotation now, right? So anytime I log in, I'm like, I don't know what map I'm playing. Like every season they always like mix things up too with like, you know, they add new things to like new maps or they change up the maps or whatever, right? So yeah. I don't know like that's the thing with like Battlefield, right? Like I'm gonna play that game for a few months. I hopefully I'll play it for longer, but we'll see. But like I just don't know if it's gonna grab me as much as Apex.
Right.
That's just the challenge.
That's like, a challenge all these developers have.
All shooters have, even the Sony ones, right? Like whatever deviation games makes, like I will say too, actually, like this is a thing. Like I said, I kind of like the fantasy shooters, right? So like when it comes to Call of Duty, my favorite mode has always been zombies. Like that is, I don't play the regular multiplayer like all that often.
You might play it in the first week, right? Like the honeymoon phase, and then after it gets trashed because everybody camps. They know the spawns. Like it's time to go to the real mode, and then you're in
but
zombies.
But zombies I'll play for months. Like I'm still playing zombies, right? I love that. And I was actually like a pretty like back in the day, not as much now, but like I would say in the 360 PS3 era, the games that I played the most for multiplayer was definitely Halo and Gears, right?
See, like it was COD. It was like COD, and like I would transition into other stuff, but it was mostly COD for me. The PS3 gen, like in terms of crazy hours, definitely COD.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I just never got into it. I like. It was between like the realistic COD versus like Gears where I've got a chainsaw lancer, right? And I'm just like, I love chainsawing people. It's fun. I like taking on like the horde modes, right? The horde modes on Gears and Gears 3 and all that. They were like, like I think actually Gears 4 horde mode was the game that I played the most last gen. I put in like over 1,000 hours.
It was a good horde mode, man. That was really good.
Into that horde mode, yeah.
I like Gears 4 better than 5, honestly.
Oh, totally. Me too. I like the campaign for 5 a little bit better, but the multiplayer for Gears 5's. Well, you know what? I should actually go back to it because the High Busters I thought was all right, but they've updated that quite a bit, right?
It was Uncharted in Gears of War.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's what it was beautiful. It was beautiful. That Unreal Engine is just like I can't wait to see Gears in the next Unreal Engine. You know what I mean? Like I can't wait to see a lot of these games. Even like I don't know if you play Fortnite on your PS5. My son asked for Robux. Bro, Fortnite is a looker, bro. I mean that thing looks good, bro.
I downloaded it on PS5 and I downloaded
faster than my PC. Bro, that thing loads faster than my PC. Fortnite loads faster on the PS5 than my $5,000 PC, bro. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Because Fortnite actually was my jam before Apex.
Really?
Fortnite actually got me hooked on Battle Royale. And then the main reason
Wasn't PUBG? See, PUBG got me.
No, I hated PUBG. I've never liked PUBG. No, I like. Well, here's the thing. Here's the caveat for this one. I played PUBG on console. Okay, like I like probably on PC it would be much better, but I played it on console and it was just like frame rates were just so bad and just like it just didn't interest me at all. So I never really got into PUBG. But Fortnite I got into it, but then I realized because I think at the beginning it wasn't like 10-year-old kids that were all playing it. I think a lot of people were playing that game when it first came out. But then I realized that my lobbies were all just 10-year-old kids, and I was like, I'm not having any fun because they're just annoying me, and like I hate listening to them.
Yeah, bro. I mean, who likes listening?
Like adults, right? So and then I played Apex, and I was like, okay, this is like, the peeps are here. So
right, different crowd.
Yeah,
All
totally.
Right, all right. Man, let me see here. Oh, we went over 2 hours. Man, this was one hell of a show, man. This was great. Hey, Paul, I told you you're gonna have fun, man. I told you it was gonna be great,
This was
and
great.
you killed it, man.
Yeah, it really was, bro.
It was great to officially talk to you. I know we need
to sign him on the contract.
Hey,
I was gonna say, if you guys want me back, like, let me know.
Oh, hell
dude,
yeah,
it's easy,
dude.
Whenever you guys want me back, let me know.
But Paul, the
That was
difference,
a lot of fun.
we get guests all the time, dude. But I'm like laying back. It's like when it's easy to talk, you know what I mean? It just flows better.
Natural,
like it's like
natural.
natural. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. It was good, man.
Totally.
It was good. Paul, man, finally got you on the show. Over a year interacting with you on Twitter, and we made the moment finally happen. Blaze is giddy. He finally get to meet you. I've been hyped for the show all day, guys. Shout out to everybody who came through, man. Make sure you guys follow Paul here on Twitter. He's always tweeting PlayStation. He's always got something on his timeline. I guarantee you'll like it if you love PlayStation. The dude is as crazy consistent as yours truly. When PS5 first came, in the conversation, the 14 T-flops, Paul would tell you we were all on it day one. We were just, it was on your timeline. If you follow his Twitter, you didn't miss it on your timeline, man. And it's always good, man, to talk to him. But Paul, we got to get you back on there. Absolutely. Anytime. We'll definitely do it.
Yeah. This was
Go
fun,
follow
man.
Paul because Paul don't have enough followers, so make sure you follow him.
Thanks. Yeah. I was just gonna say it's always fun when you meet people and talk to people where you just you have the natural conversation, just bounce.
Yeah.
There you go.
This was a lot of fun, man.
Gamers coming together. That's all it is, man. Gamers talking.
Yeah. I appreciate you inviting me to the show. Thank you guys so much.
You got it, man. Absolutely. Let's definitely let's close this one down, man. Blaze, you want to plug Solidcast?
We are on Solidcast every other week on my channel. Solid Rev, we're gonna do it on his channel. It just,
boy, I guess the
technical
lightning was wrong that day.
Yeah, God, that was so crazy. Wasted a half an hour, but yeah, the Solidcast is on my channel every other week, bi-weekly. Other than that, it was Paul, it was cool. Like, I didn't know how you were gonna be because you see people like writing, and sometimes you can't understand, like, writing something, you don't know my expression, you don't know how, you know what I mean? So
totally.
You never know how people are gonna be, but you were definitely just totally. I didn't know you're just laid back, which is surprising, because some people get to a certain level and they get Hollywood. It's like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, you're so laid back, and you got some of these people got like 5,000 followers, and they're like, oh, bro, like, I'm not following you back, like, it's like, bro, totally humble. You're knowledgeable, you're humble, and seriously, we appreciate your time, dude.
Thanks a lot. That's I'm turning red here, man. You can't see it, but I'm
No. You're being just a genuine person, bro. You're not trying to be anybody else but you. That's it. That's all you can ask from a person, man.
Just
exactly.
I love games, man. I love playing games. I like talking about games. That's it, man. Like that's what I'm here for.
That's it.
That's what the games.
Absolutely. You want to plug your podcast on the website? Want to plug that, Paul?
Sure. Yeah. So my Twitter is Next Gen Player, so you can follow me on Next Gen Player, and I've got a podcast. It's called Down to Play. So just follow me on my Twitter, and anytime I've got a new episode coming out, I'll make sure to tweet it out, and you can listen to my podcast.
Are they on YouTube? Where's your podcast going?
It's like a website.
So I've got a personal site, but basically, at first I put it on the software called Podbean, but then Podbean syndicates it out to Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. So it's on all of them. I should put it on YouTube. Like, everyone keeps on saying, like, just rip the audio.
You built the audience.
Put a video. Hey man, I might. You're convincing me to throw it on YouTube.
You definitely should, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it now after this conversation. So
It's extra eyeballs, extra revenue. It's all beneficial. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's all good
and
for
it's not
you.
much more work. Like I've already done a
right.
podcast. Just
Yeah.
Upload it.
The only thing I
Put
probably
up
should
the-
be working thumbnails. That's it.
yeah, true.
All right. Shout out to Shane Fairley, Black Card, and Marco Ballistic for becoming for just subscribing to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Shout out to everybody who came through. Fire show, man. Show. That was the plan. Paul was worried. I'm like, Paul, this is me you're talking to. It's gonna be chill as hell. You're gonna be blown away. Look at him. He's turning red live on the camera. So there you guys go. So thank you guys again for coming through. We'll definitely have Paul back on here in the future for sure. We're getting close to 10,000 subscribers, guys. We're so close. It's like it's blowing me away. When we get past 10K and all that, best believe you're gonna see even a lot more. You know, I'm trying to get as many guests we had before and probably have like a super show. I know Blaze wants to do something like that. We have everybody like together, so we're definitely gonna do it for sure for you guys. But right now we're back on the grind. But I appreciate y'all for watching. Real talk. I can't wait, man. I can't wait for the future. It's a lot of stuff. Paul's got some good stuff in line for you. I'm already working on a lot of stuff. Blaze already knows, solid guys. So it's a good time to be a gamer. So I just want to say enjoy your weekend. Happy Father's Day to those that are fathers. And y'all be blessed. I'm out of here.